special presentation of ESPN on ABC.
As IndyCar roars into the Lone Star State, the sights and sounds of racing are heightened under the cloak of darkness. In a city of steers and spurs, longhorns and long necks, stands a track where every driver needs to cowboy up. As the strongest G's from the steepest banks on the circuit force drivers into their seats and fans to their feet. With 6 different winners from 6 different countries, can 3-time Texas winner Helio Castroneves claim his first win of the season? Or will another first-time winner cut through the Texas night and snatch victory from the shadows? Only the brightest stars can shine under these lights. Eyes wide and hearts pounding. Drivers use all their senses and put on a brave face. Because this track can sense fear.
Welcome to one of the most exciting venues in all of motorsports. For the 25th time, IndyCar brings the fastest open-wheel drivers in the world to the Texas Motor Speedway for tonight's Firestone 550, and you're going to see it all live. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday night with us. Here's our top storylines. The 2013 season has been very special. 6 different winners in 7 races, and many think the trend continues tonight. Ironically, the 2 tied for the points lead, Marco Andretti and Helio Castroneves, are not among the winners. Another familiar name, Graham Rahal, is looking for revenge. Last year, he had this race won until he ran out of track, handing the victory to Justin Wilson. Plus, John Brankus will break down just what makes this facility downright fast and, frankly, scary. So let's get started. Jamie Little is with Helio and Marco.
And these drivers will hit a top speed tonight of 226 miles per hour every lap. Marco, how challenging and daunting will this race be for you, both mentally and physically?
Yeah, physically, only because of how mental it is, if that makes any sense. I think we're all going to be really driving up on the wheel, holding on really tight. The cars are going to be sliding all around, but I think it's going to really reward the one who gets the setup right. I think there should be a lot of passing, because when cars fall off, the better ones should go to the front, so hopefully it's going to be a great show.
Helio, there's always a buzz when you guys come here to race at Texas. Why is this race a must-watch?
Well, normally in Texas, basically it's the second biggest race after Indianapolis. We're talking about everything in Texas is big. Even the race is big, too. So right now, we actually feel pretty good. Marco and I tied for the championship. I want to make sure I'll finish, and ahead of him. But in the end of the day, this race is going to be exciting because there is a lot going on. There is a tire degradation, which is great for the racing. It's going to be people from the back coming to the front, people from the front going to the back. I hope it's not me. I hope it's him.
Both drivers looking for their first win here tonight. Vince Welch?
Well, Graham Rahal was so close to getting to victory lane a year ago, a couple of laps from the end into the wall. How optimistic are you tonight that you're going to be able to take it to the distance and get the victory?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. It's going to be it's going to be far more challenging tonight than last year, but we only have to do one spot better, and I feel pretty confident with the Midas team. The guys are working awfully hard, and we've been close before this year. We seem to have a run of bad luck, but hopefully we can break through.
Coming from the back, should be fun to watch Graham Rahal. Rick?
You may call it slope or pitch, grade or incline, but in racing, we call it banking. And Texas Motor Speedway has the most extreme banking that Indy cars will face all season long. How extreme? Well, without this harness, I'd be rolling down this banking to the very bottom, which means for the engineers, before they can set up their cars to run on this track, they need to understand the physics.
At Texas Motor Speedway, the turns are banked at 24 degrees. By far, the steepest banking on the IndyCar circuit. This allows what's called the normal force, or upward force from the ground, to assist the car in turning by pushing toward the center of the curve rather than straight up. This means the car doesn't have to rely solely on friction to stay on course and can corner even faster. Compared to a flat turn with the same radius, the banking at Texas Motor Speedway allows cars to corner at speeds up to 75% faster and race at more than 200 miles per hour throughout the entire turn. And as they navigate each curve, drivers are subjected to amazing amounts of G-force. And in the middle of the turns, drivers actually experience peak forces of more than 4 Gs. During the Firestone 550, to hold their head upright, drivers will have to fight a force with their neck equal to the weight of about 4 bowling balls more than 450 times. This intense G-force can dramatically reduce blood flow to the head. And with less blood and oxygen in the brain, drivers can become disoriented and begin to gray out, where vision becomes dim and tunneled. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus.
Well, you heard John, you heard Marco. This is one of the toughest, both mentally and physically, and the challenge is about to begin. Stay with us.
ESPN's coverage of the Firestone 550 on ABC. Brought to you by Firestone. Reminding you that whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. And Mother's high-performance car care products, formulated for fanatics.
Back at Texas Motor Speedway, and normally there is a huge rivalry between the states of Texas and Oklahoma, but with all the tornadoes up in Oklahoma, that rivalry's been put on the back burner. We think you'll understand just how much as we go trackside.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats for tonight's invocation offered by Dr. Roger Marsh of Texas Alliance Raceway Ministries. Heavenly Father, as we gather here at the Great American Speedway on this gorgeous evening to enjoy the power and the excitement of IZOD IndyCar Series racing, we do so with thankful hearts, thankful for the freedoms that we enjoy in this country. Watch over those who protect our freedoms, both at home and abroad. And Father, tonight our hearts hurt with those who have suffered the loss of property and possessions and even life as a result of recent disasters. And Father, we pray for their recovery and their healing. We also give thanks for the heroes and the helpers who have gone and sacrificially offered their encouragement and their assistance. And now, Father, as we turn our attention to tonight's event, we pray that you would watch over all the competitors and the teams. Thank you for the sponsors and all who have made this event possible. We pray now that you'll help us all to have a safe and enjoyable event. In Jesus' name I pray it. Amen. Please remain standing for the presentation of our colors by the Keller ISD Air Force Junior ROTC and the singing of our national anthem performed by 12-year-old Addison Baker from Norman, Oklahoma. Standing tall and proud alongside Addison are tonight's co-grand marshals Jennifer Simmons and Sam Canaday, two of the many heroic educators from Moore, Oklahoma's Plaza Towers Elementary. Also with us tonight, positioned in the flag stand, our honorary starter, West Texas Volunteer Fire Department Captain C.J. Gillespie. One youngster with a bright and hopeful future, and 3 selfless and caring Americans that put others before themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, our Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through that night that our blood
Thank you for that wonderful national anthem, and thank you to Team Phoenix Escadrille for that flyover, flying in T6 Texans, performing in honor of all the veterans present. And now to give the command, please welcome back more Oklahoma teachers, Jennifer Simmons and Sam Kennedy.
Drivers, start your engine!
A great way to start the race. Great job, ladies, as we come topside along with former Indy 500 champion Eddie Cheever and two-time Texas winner Scott Goodyear. Let's talk about this season so far. Think about this. In years past, we'd be saying, well, who can stop the juggernaut of Team Penske and Chip Ganassi Racing? Well, this year, those two have led only 18% of the laps, and they've got a big goose egg in the win column. This has been a bizarre year.
What's a goose egg? Is that zero?
In all four languages you speak, yes.
Zero. Okay, well, I agree with the zero. We've had 6 winners, 7 different races, and here we are in Texas. And I think the same thing's going to happen here. This place always packs in a lot of excitement. But it has been quite a year, and tonight, I'm sure it will continue.
Scott, you've won here twice. You know what this is like. Take it through for everybody.
Marty, when I raced here, we're really on sensory overload because you start this race during the day, and then when the lights come on, the track changes and their car changes. So inside the cockpit as a driver, you need to do whatever you can to keep the car on the racetrack. And oh yeah, we're going into the turns at 225 miles an hour. With other cars, there's inches from your wheel, and that 24-degree banking that feels like a roller coaster ride. I used to love it, but now I look at it and think these guys are just out of their mind.
Well, there's one lady, we'll tell you her name in just a second. She's having the ride of her life. Don't miss your chance to start an IndyCar Series race in the Honda Izod 2-seater driven by none other than Mario Andretti. Enter for a chance to win at shophonda.com. And Mario's starting the race tonight with Mona Wimberly from San Antonio, Texas. And I bet she's a big San Antonio Spurs fan. Cars are pulling out onto the racetrack, so across the top of your screen, we'll give you a look at our Firestone starting grid. And we'll also introduce you to our 6 onboard cameras. Here's a look from Graham Rahal's number 15 car. Finished second here last year at Texas. Now, he also has live streaming of in-car cameras on the IndyCar 13 mobile app. That's only from Verizon. Oriole Serby in the National Guard car, his 4th career Texas start. James Hinchcliffe in the GoDaddy on board. 2 IndyCar Series wins this season. He's the only multiple winner so far this year. Scott Dixon in the Firestone on board. He won this race back in 2008. Charlie Kimball in the number 83, Novo Nordisk on board. He has 3 career Texas starts in hand. And Dario Franchitti in the number 10 Honda on board. 2011 Texas race winner number 1. Remember, that was the year we did a doubleheader in one night. Marco Andretti's going to start outside front row. The Firestone onboard camera tied for first in the IndyCar Series points. All right, let's get the final update before we go green from pit lane. Jamie Little, you're up.
Well, Marty, there was a big celebration last Sunday after Simon Pagenaud won his first ever IndyCar Series race. Well, it was also team owner Sam Schmidt's first win as an owner. Now, back in 2000, a racing accident left him a quadriplegic. He told me after becoming a team owner in 2001, that win on Sunday was long in the making. But if they want to continue their winning ways tonight, it'll be a challenge. They had to make an engine change, and they will start in the back. Vince Welch?
When Justin Wilson won this race a year ago, he wasn't very optimistic when he started. He didn't think his race car was all that good until he started passing cars in the race. I spoke with him just before he climbed in. He said, it's a very similar mindset. He said, I'm not quite sure what I've got. He said, but one thing is for certain, it's all about managing your tires. The one who does that best tonight will end up in victory lane. We'll see if it's Justin Wilson for the 2nd year in a row. Rick DeBrule.
Well, Takuma Sato doesn't have an oval background, but he's become a pretty good oval racer. He got his first pole on an oval. He finished 5th here 2 years ago, and don't forget last year's Indy 500. But this weekend has been challenging. A gearbox problem meant the team missed qualifying. As a result, they have to start from the back of the grid. But Takuma was 6th fastest in the final practice. As a result, should be exciting to see him bring that AJ Foyt racing car up through the pack. Why
watch for them. Marty?
Two other cars that had the 10-position penalty, Simona Di Silvestro and Tristan Vautier. So they are 22nd and 24th on the field. The broadcast is available in Spanish. All you have to do is activate your SAP button presented by ESPN Deportes. All right. Cars are beginning to form up, heading around turn number 2. You heard Marco Andretti talk about tire degradation. Elio also talked about it. It's the tires basically falling off, guys, and it may be more important tonight than fuel.
And as they're designed to do, because the cars are going too fast before, so we'll watch for that throughout the race.
So they get ready to go into turn number 3. Sit back and enjoy the sights and sounds of Indy cars at Texas Motor Speedway. Firestone 550 is green.
Flag.
Pole sitter Will Power down low, right alongside of him. That is Marco Andretti, 3 wide coming through, too. Look at it in the middle of the field. Dicing and slicing for the positions.
That's a perfect start. Everybody got away cleanly.
And Marco Andretti took the lead, guys, because he got that run on Will Power going down to 2, got in front of him, took the air away from Will Power's car, and look how far he fell back.
The worst place to be right here is in the back, right in the middle, back to middle, because it's very bumpy.
Now that is Dario Franchitti. I know you're saying, wait a minute, that looks a lot like one of the other cars out there, James Hinchcliffe, and yes, they are similar, but he is wearing the 10 colors tonight in a green and black paint scheme, and he has fallen back a bit. And there they are, basically in the same shot.
Oh, and as a driver right now, you're looking for a way by, guys, but there's nowhere to go, and you can't get frustrated. You have to have patience.
Carpenter a little loose there.
A little loose, and nobody has picked up on the rhythm yet.
Side by side, Ryan Hunter-Reay on the high side. Down low, that is Will Power, and he slides back to 3rd. Move Hunter-Reay to 2nd.
And you see Will Power with his car. Oh, and we've had trouble already.
The 18 car, that is Pippa Mann, and it looks like there's a flame coming out the back again.
That's an engine problem.
Get the fire extinguishers out, guys.
The 2 Andretti cars are leading.
And look at Ryan Hunter-Reay as this race continues under green.
Now, this is the first time, Scott, that we've seen them all weekend use that high line. He seems to be very comfortable up there.
A lot of drivers were saying sometimes it was difficult to pass, but right now not looking like these drivers are talking about yellow.
Yellow is out on the track. And that is the reason why, as Pippa Mann was not able to make it back to pit lane, and the Hamaltro safety crew checking on her, making sure that the fire is out.
And Marty, these drivers are briefed in the driver's information session to let them know where all the areas are for drivers to be able to stop if they have a problem. All the safety trucks, she knows she has a problem. She gets off the racing line, down onto what we call the apron, and then she'll go and stop right beside the safety 1 truck.
So our first caution of the evening here at Texas Motor Speedway for Pippa Mann and her engine that lets go. As she climbs out, we'll be back in a moment.
We know a place where tossing and turning have given way to sleeping, where sleepless nights yield to restful sleep. And Lunesta Asapaclone can help you get there, like it has for so many people before. Do not take Lunesta if you are allergic to anything in it. When taking Lunesta, don't drive or operate machinery until you feel fully awake. Walking, eating, driving, or engaging in other activities while asleep without remembering it the next day have been reported. Lunesta should not be taken together with alcohol. Abnormal behaviors may include aggressiveness, agitation, hallucinations, or confusion. In depressed patients, worsening of depression, including risk of suicide, may occur. Alcohol may increase these risks. Allergic reactions such as tongue or throat swelling occur rarely and may be fatal. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, dizziness, and morning drowsiness. Ask your doctor if Lunesta is right for you. Then find out how to get Lunesta for as low as $15 at Lunesta.com. There's a land of restful sleep. We can help you go there on the wings of Lunesta.
At Honda, we know some people just can't leave things be. They wonder how much faster this thing could go. What if it weighed less or turned sharper? They know that things can always be better. We count ourselves among those people. Introducing the quicker, sleeker, smarter, best Civic Si yet, made possible by Honda.
Honda, proud partner of the IZOD IndyCar Series.
Original recipe? Dad, I think you ate the bones. I ate the bones?
It's KFC original recipe without the bones. White or dark meat, boneless and skinless. Get 4 pieces in your next 10-piece mixed bucket for $14.99. Today tastes so good.
It's time to stop dreaming of the open road and start riding. The Can-Am Spider. Buy one now and we'll cover your payments through Labor Day. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Learn more at your Can-Am Spider dealer or canam.brp.com.
In a riveting Game 1, San Antonio struck a devastating first blow. Now the Heat must deliver a powerful counterpunch to land a crucial win at home. The NBA Finals Game 2, tomorrow on ABC.
Next week.
Do you know that I'm a doctor now? The lesson is if you drop out of college and tell 1,400 Kardashian jokes, someday you too can be a doctor.
Kimmel's got Lil Wayne, Shakira, and Robin Thicke. Jimmy Kimmel Live, 11:35, 10:35 Central, weeknights on ABC.
Under our first caution, let's check the calendar because the NASCAR Nationwide Series will be at Michigan. That's next Saturday, 2 Eastern, right here on ABC. And the Milwaukee Indy Fest. That's 4 o'clock Eastern next Saturday on NBC Sports Network. Brian Hunter-Reay won that one last year. The caution was out, and we've done 4 laps under the caution for Pippa Mann's expired engine. But we were just checking during the break the start of this race, and it was a little bit of an interesting moment for one Scott Dixon. I'm sorry, let's go to this first. The IndyCar Series in the last 22 races, we've had 14 different race winners. This dates back to last year. 9 different teams have won a race. And then 3 first-time winners, including Simon Pagenaud last week, and 6 different points leaders. And, of course, the leaders right now between Castroneves and Andretti. And so that shows you just the parity that we've had in the series, dating back all the way to last year. Now, we mentioned Scott Dixon on the start. Let's go back and do that again. Show everybody.
When you see this right now, it's amazing to watch Scott Dixon in his target machine. Now watch as the race continues here. He's got momentum coming off the turn, about to go underneath Ed Carpenter. Ed Carpenter goes for the proper racing line, and Scott Dixon gets out of it, and the yellow car of Tony Kanaan puts his Sunoco machine through there very tightly.
On board with Scott Dixon. That's close. So we've got a commercial break right now as we'll stay side by side as we're under this first caution as we've knocked down 10 of the 228 scheduled laps.
I'm the first licensed IndyCar driver with diabetes to finish the Indy 500. I live in the fast lane. I need on-the-go insulin delivery. That's why I use Novolog FlexPen. FlexPen is pre-filled with my fast-acting insulin. I dial my exact dose, inject by pressing a button. FlexPen is insulin delivery my way.
Novolog Insulin Aspart rDNA Origin Injection is a fast-acting insulin used to control high blood sugar in adults and children with diabetes. You should eat a meal within 5 to 10 minutes after injection. Do not use if your blood sugar is too low or if you're allergic to any of its ingredients. The most common side effect is low blood sugar, which may cause symptoms such as sweating, shakiness, confusion, and headache. Severe low blood sugar can be serious and life-threatening. Ask your healthcare provider about alcohol use, operating machinery, or driving. Other possible side effects include injection site reactions and low potassium in your blood. Tell your healthcare provider about all medicines you take and all of your medical conditions. Get medical help right away if you experience serious allergic reactions such as body rash, trouble with breathing, fast heartbeat, or sweating.
FlexPen is there when I need it, just like my pit crew.
Ask your doctor about Novolog FlexPen, covered by most insurance plans including Medicare. Find your copay at myflexpen.com.
Texas. But forget big. How about beautiful? How about bountiful? And how about fast? Like really, really fast. Look at those speeds. Now that's coming big.
And we're just about done with our first caution here at Texas Motor Speedway. Ryan Hunter-Reay is the series defending champion. This is what he had on the radio just a few moments ago.
Just to give you an idea of how light the downforce is, you get loose when you pop out on somebody. Let's not talk about that. No, I mean in a straight line, in a straightaway.
Let's not talk about that. I don't think he wants every other team out there to know that he has a loose car at this point, do you?
Yeah, no trade secrets so soon.
Yeah.
Well, Marco Andretti has been our race leader from the drop of the green flag, and it's the third race Marco has led this year. First time he's led here at Texas since 2008. Pace car has pulled down, and Marco is winding it up, and we're back to green flag racing.
And he has a teammate in Hunter-Reay right behind him, so those two can work together.
That looks like almost 4 wide there for a moment. That's Newgarden in the 67. You're on board with Charlie Kimball.
They're using that high line is really important today, Scott, because we were worried they're going to get a lot of little rubber segments up there and it would be slippery. But the more they use it, the faster this racetrack is going to be and the safer it's going to be because there's more room.
Let's get more on Newgarden, Rick.
Yeah, they were just talking before the start. He liked the tire temperature they had in the first start, so he's working hard. Said you was something similar to what he was doing in Iowa to bring the tire temperature up, so it was just right for the start, and apparently it worked again. Vince?
Our race leader is Marco Andretti. Remember the last time we were on an oval, that was at Indianapolis. Andretti led 31 laps there. Some may be surprised if they looked at their practice times from yesterday evening, but Andretti ran on old tires in that final practice so they could get an understanding of what they would need to do balance-wise with the car at its worst. So right now, it's at its best, and Marco is sailing.
And whatever they've done, it worked because he sure didn't look this quick in the last practice. They're very strong. Both those cars are pulling away from the field.
And one guy that is going backwards is Dario Franchitti. He's dropped another couple of spots. He is all the way back to 12th. Remember, he started this race in 4th.
It's really hard on a circuit like this with so much banking to get a good feeling for the car.
Tony Kanaan in different colors this week. He's in the yellow and blue Sunoco paint scheme, still with the number 11. There is TK, our Indy 500 winner. Of course, that's part of the Turbo movie promotion. I said, so are you as fast as a snail? He said, yes, a snail with a big nose.
It might be a different colored car, but he is always somebody you have to look out for, especially on a place like this.
And he was best in final practice yesterday.
By a country mile, by a Texas country mile.
But to bring up something that Vince spoke about with Marco Andretti being on old tires, you have to go out there and make sure that you have an opportunity to watch James Hinchcliffe now get on the underside of Charlie. Nice move by Hinch.
Now watch Charlie. He's getting all the dirty air, and if his car is working, he'll be able to stick with it. With him. If he doesn't have a car that's working, he will start to fall back. And here, when you fall back quickly.
And James Jakes is the car that's directly behind him. What a great job he's done the last couple of years getting acclimatized to U.S. racing, especially ovals. He's really a shining star. And when you see the guys driving around here, you notice that one guy's a little lower than the next guy. You want to have a little bit more air coming onto your car and get a little of that downforce as we're riding along now.
They can't sneak underneath you like that.
See that?
It's a little quicker, too. Clear by 4.
Team information, that's from the spotters up top. Each driver has what they call a spotter who's on top of the grandstand in communication with the driver. The message to Charlie was, don't leave that lower lane open and let them get through on you.
Of course, you mentioned James Jakes coming off a career best second-place finish last week at Detroit in Sunday's race.
But that was a road race. This is an oval, and this is Texas. He's learning everything he can right now. And these first laps are really important to get your confidence up. So if he can hang that close to a car, he's going to have a good, you can tell he's on a roll here.
And Eddie, you bring up confidence, and you know from racing here also that when the car works well, your confidence is high. If it steps out from underneath you, almost wants to slide out from underneath you, your confidence goes straight down, and the race becomes very long.
There have been times where I've raced at here in Texas where I wished I would have had my mom's telephone number.
Jake's taking a look to the inside, can't get there, and then all of a sudden has to back off a bit.
Now, look, that is a lack of experience. Look how much room he's lost. Just trying that one time. The closer you get, you lose all the downforce, all the grip in the front, and the car just won't turn.
All comes down to timing. He has to get this run, time it right, so he can pop in and surprise Charlie when you get to the turn. Not close enough, I don't think.
Jakes is hugging the bottom line. See, now he's trying to get as much clean air as he can.
Let's drop back a little further from this action because Dario Franchitti is struggling, guys. Started 4th, and there he is. He is now running in 13th. He's been our biggest loser. Our biggest gainers right behind him in 14th. Simona Di Silvestro. She's picked up 8 spots since the beginning of the race.
And Marty, talking about Dario Franchitti, he's going about 5 miles an hour slower than the leader right now. Vince Welsh?
Well, the issue with Dario right now is the balance of his race car. Massive understeer, and that's the reason why he's dropping back, losing all of those positions. When these tires go away and the car becomes even more of a handful, if the balance isn't good to begin with, you're really going to struggle, and that's what Dario's got in his hands right now.
And right now we're looking at his throttle. You see he went all the way out of his throttle turning into 1. So what he has to do is try to lose the minimum amount of ground possible in this stint until he runs all the way through the fuel or they have a yellow. And when they have a yellow, they'll make a big change.
Simona Di Silvestro, we mentioned the fact that she has picked up the most spots so far, 8 in fact. She's coming off a couple of tough runs last weekend at Detroit, but right now looking very racy as she has picked up, as we said, those 8 spots.
But she has a great teacher in Kanan. I'm sure he has given her a lot of information, Scott, on what you need to do in a place like this. And there really are just a few basics, and she's lucky because she can go with his setup.
Simona was 16th in the first race at Detroit, 24th in the second. But right now, trying to work her way towards the front. Who's up front? Still Marco Andretti. He has led all 27 laps so far, and he has a 7/10 of a second lead over Ryan Hunter-Reay. We're back after a word from your ABC stations. The NBA Finals continue Sunday night on ABC. Tony Parker led the Spurs to a big road win in game number 1. Now LeBron James and the Heat look to even things up before the series heads to San Antonio. It's game 2. NBA Finals tomorrow on ABC, and coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with the Kia NBA Countdown. Back here at the Firestone 550. The race leader is Marco Andretti. He has led every single lap, but look at this action. That is E.J. Vizo in the car to the very right of your screen. And that was Charlotte Kimball going around the outside, so moved Kimball to 11th, Vizo to 12th. Dario Franchitti in that mix, as is Simona Di Silvestro.
Franchitti's having a very hard time staying up high, so he keeps trying to get down to the bottom of the track. But watch how his car washes out when he comes out again.
And listen to the throttle as they're running on board here. Let's see if he has to do a lift coming into turns 1.
Trying to get on your outside corner there. You're still clear.
And Vizo's not giving him any room at all.
Oh, it's tight.
Oh, Eddie, this is where you know as a driver you're trying to squeeze the most out of the throttle, but you have to believe in the car that it will stick underneath you.
And Simona Di Silvestro comes through as well. And it looks like Vizo might give up another spot. That is Bourdais on the low side. On the high side, it's Justin Wilson.
And E.J. Vizo having some issues, saying the car, the handling is just going away. We're hearing that a lot, but he wants to come in and pit ASAP and get a front wing adjustment and some new tires. So as you can see, he's falling back.
He is under attack on both sides of his race car. There goes Justin Wilson, last year's winner on the high side.
And Marty, what's happening now as a driver inside the cockpit is that you're going into turns, you're looking in the mirrors because you know you're off the gas, and you're looking in there and seeing other cars come on both sides of you. And as Jamie said, you just want to come into the pit lane and get some changes in your car to make it better.
Sato went by everybody on the outside.
Boy, the 14 car, would that be something if A.J. Foyt could pick up another win in his home state. And Vizo's just trying to hang on, and everybody all over him.
If Sato can get himself in the top 6, he's definitely going to be one of those drivers that will be racing for a win. And that would be big in Texas.
Side-by-side action there. That's Tristan Vautier. His color has changed from last week. He's in a blue and white car down on the bottom of the track.
Newgarden is 4th.
And as when you see the cars go away from you, you see a bright yellow stripe as you see there on the 55 car on the bottom, Tristan Vautier. That means that he is a rookie in the series, so all the other drivers know when they come up behind him that he is new to this racing.
Yeah, and it's important to talk about. This is the first time Tristan has ever raced on a high bank. The Indy Light Series didn't come here, so this has been an educational experience. Yesterday, during one of the practices, said he'd scared himself 3 times. His goal today, just to finish.
While all this is going on, let's reset the top 5. It's Andretti, then Hunter Ray. Castroneves is 3rd. Joseph Newgarden 4th. Will Power is 5th. And Tony Kanaan has moved up to 6th.
Marco's already lapping cars.
Getting ready to put Simon Pagenaud a lap down. And Vince Saavedra's in.
Sebastian Saavedra has had his hands full from the drop of the green. For one, his weight jacker controls are not working inside the cockpit, and that's been a big problem for Saavedra. Yeah, they're going to put on fresh Firestone tires, also a front turn of front wing for Sebastian Saavedra. Also, Graham Rahal has come in. Rahal has already fallen a lap down. It went from push understeer to very, very nervous. He fell a lap down on lap 33.
That's the worst thing you can have is push and oversteer.
And to compound the problem, Scott, they had a problem during the pit stop.
A little problem on the right front. They had to put the car back up on the air jacks. That cost you a couple of seconds, which could be maybe a couple positions on the racetrack.
And boy, Marco Andretti has got himself a race car right now. Now here is 2nd and 3rd in your screen. That is Ryan Hunter-Reay, left side of your screen. Right behind him in the 3 car, that is Helio Castroneves,
who has won 3 times here, and he's working his way through the field.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay
in the pits,
coming in towards pit lane.
Whoa, he went all the way back onto the racetrack.
Oh, the guys told me today that they found that the apron here was very slippery this year. You tried to drive the car in really quickly on the in-lap to make up time, and see what happened with there. He almost got back up onto the racetrack.
Jamie?
And Ryan Hunter-Reay has been asking for about 5 laps to come in. He said it's getting horrible out here. He said it's doing that thing going into 3 that it was earlier. They're telling him to work inside the car. Michael Andretti on the radio. You see him on the wall there in the black, telling him to hang on. He's going to love the feel of these new sticker tires. No adjustments. They build them up with Sunoco fuel. Meanwhile, Simon Pagenaud, last week's winner, having a handful under him so far. He had to start in the back because he made an engine change last night. The car is not cooperating. Tried to use the weight jacker, struggling with that as well. So he's not able to use those tools inside the car. 4 tires here. Let's see if they want to make a wing adjustment. And you see it right there on the nose. They made a wing adjustment, 7.7. Impressive.
And meanwhile, Vautier has gone a lap down, so has Servia. And right now, Bourdais is the 17th and last car on the lead lap. And there is Newgarden in. Rick?
Yeah, Joseph Newgarden brings it in. This race, he says he wants some redemption for Indy now that he's back on an oval. They do a nice quick stop. They're very happy with the car, and his position on the track shows it.
And it looked like they didn't do any changes at all, Scott. They just came in, put 4 new tires on, and out you go.
And maybe just a slight air pressure adjustment on the tires. That could be the only thing they possibly did. But for Marco Andretti right now, the race is going his way. And he's in basically clean air. He's coming up to some lap cars, but he seems happy. Remember, we spoke to him today. He was not.
Vautier is in. He is one of the cars already a lap down. They complete the work. He goes back out onto the racetrack. Bourdais came in, and that is Sebastian coming back out onto the track. So the pair of Frenchmen back out onto the track. And what we're seeing is if you've got the balance right, like the 25 car, you're able to stay out longer on these tires. But if you don't, and they start falling off, it's getting slippery.
But you have to make a decision. You're going to try to hang out there and try to make as many miles as you can, or you come in early, and if there's a yellow, you're in trouble. So strategically, it's always wrong to come into the pits until you need fuel.
I am amazed on Marco Andretti how well his car is working. We mentioned that he did not work well in practice last night and on old tires. Here you see Alex Tagliani coming in for his pit stop. But for Marco Andretti, he said earlier today he wasn't really convinced he had a good car.
Rick?
Tony Kanaan bring the car in. He locked it up coming in here. You saw they got a half a turn of front wing. Overall, he likes the car, but he wants it a little bit better. Meanwhile, we got Charlie Kimball, who also comes in. Likes the fact that he's got an empty pit stall directly in front of him. They've been happy with the car all weekend, and again, no adjustments. They're going to send it back out.
Meanwhile, Marco Andretti continues to motor around here. We have 11 cars now on the lead lap. So after an early caution, all of a sudden, the best car out there is Marco Andretti. Here's Hinchcliffe. Vince.
James Hinchcliffe says the car is just way too loose. They're going to make a quarter turn less front wing for him to help him out. But he said more than anything, he thinks that fresh Firestone rubber is going to be the key. 8.1 for Hinch.
Fresh new tires are always great to have, but here it makes a big difference.
Scott Dixon is now in, Jamie, heading your way.
And they have worked a lot on this race car the last 2 days. Never quite got the balance they were looking for. Speed wasn't quite there. Now, what they did after that last caution, they took a look at how that heat cycle affected the tires, so they know for later in the race. 6.9 to change 4 tires, Marty.
And he picked up 4 spots in the points last weekend with 2 great runs. Best that they could do at Detroit. James Jakes now in. Came in from 8th, Jamie.
Finished 2nd on Sunday, and he gets the #1 pit box for qualifying on the pole last weekend. Made his way all the way down 4 tires. There's a wing adjustment for him as well. Let's go to Vince.
Well, there's Simona coming out at the bottom of your screen, and we are still waiting for Marco Andretti to come in, as that is Dario Franchitti. And here comes Marco Andretti. Uh-oh, Dixon's in trouble on the backstretch. The car is slowing, Jamie.
And you see Marco Andretti in his pit box, but we saw the red car of Scott Dixon having issues. Listening to his radio now to see what possibly could have happened. Remember, you just changed those tires. Cold tires going out on this slick track. Good stop for Marco Andretti, a little bit longer than we've been seeing tonight. And there is the target car. And Elio Castroneves, trouble as well. He's coming into the pit box. Marty, we're going to send it back up to you for the caution.
Yeah, we've got a yellow because Scott Dixon is limping around the racetrack.
Copy that.
So what was a brilliant run for Scott Dixon after that near off-course.
So let's see if we can get to the pit lane and see what it is.
That happened right after he left the pits.
Well, we'll have to wait and see exactly what happened.
So the car seems like it has no drive because you could hear the engine running, and Scott Dixon asked the team, do I shut the engine off? Now remember that these cars have what we call telemetry, so all the information that's on that car is beamed back to the pit lane, so the engineers are sitting there looking at and watching everything on their screen that the car is doing.
All right, let's just listen as he made the pit stop.
Oh, yeah, I think that gearbox, or he broke a drive shaft, because as soon as the power came on, and these cars have over 700 horsepower, it looks like maybe he just ended up breaking the drive shaft or something in the gearbox, Eddie.
And the pits are now closed.
So Dixon, who had 2 fourth-place finishes last week, back-to-back at Detroit, and as we mentioned, picked up 4 spots in the championship, is now going to lose ground as he is going to be out of this race. Now, here are the drivers who have not pitted. Will Power, Ed Carpenter, Justin Wilson, Takuma Sato, and E.J. Visa. We only have 10 cars on the lead lap right now.
It's been a very chaotic and fast-paced race so far, but I am astonished how fast Marco Andretti is running.
Let's send it down to Jamie Little. She's caught up with Mike Hull.
And he's the strategist for Scott Dixon. What exactly is Scott saying about the car at this point?
Well, he just said it doesn't drive forward. I think that's fairly obvious, probably from the television broadcast. Looks like you featured our target car a bit there.
Yes, we did. The engine is still running, though, and he had it in emergency mode, correct?
Yeah, the engine's still running, but it's definitely something that drives the rear wheels isn't driving it. So we'll find out what it is, and hopefully we can get back in the race.
All right, he's optimistic. We'll stay on top of it, Marty.
Our second caution now. The first one was for 9 laps, as you see. Scott getting the tow back into pit lane. We've knocked down 56 of the 228 scheduled here at Texas Motor Speedway.
And Marty, you were talking about Scott Dixon with his fine races last week at Detroit. When Scott Dixon's working quietly and he's just collecting points, you have to worry about him for the points championship at the end of the year, because he's a guy that likes to fly underneath the radar screen, and he certainly does a great job of that, and all the drivers know that he's very competitive.
But this time he's gotten his wings clipped. This is not something he needed, because he has been, like you said, accumulating points all the way up to here.
We have 12 races to go. I want to remind you of something. Scott Dixon had the largest comeback in history, 2003. He trailed by 61 points with 11 races to go. Ryan Hunter-Reay trailed by 46 last year with 12. So don't count this guy out yet. Now, here's Marco's pit stop, and they had issues.
And you can see the fueler right there is working very hard to get what they call a fuel buckeye into the acceptor. And that just cost a couple of seconds, and then he'll be very disappointed with that. They'll look to see if that was a problem with the fuel buckeye fitting inside the car. But that's something they cannot have for the subsequent pit stops that we're going to have here.
And as a result, Eddie, he's ninth.
Yes, he's ninth, but the worst thing is they don't know if that's going to happen again. And he's telling Newgarden to get going, catch up to the group ahead of you.
All right, Power's in, Jamie.
And Will Power been pretty quiet on the radio early in the race. He said he had a bit of push. The car just didn't want to really turn in the corners, and they made a turn in front wing there and put some sticker tires on the 12 machine.
And a lot of those cars that we pointed out had not made their first pit stop finally did make the stop. As you can see, there's Pagenaud, Ryan Hunter-Reay. They're cycling back out. Pagenaud already one lap down. He is shown back in 21st position. And Ryan Hunter-Reay is shown as our race leader. As you can see, Scott Dixon talking to Mike Hull on the radio as they're trying to diagnose the issue. So it's Ryan Hunter-Reay, Joseph Newgarden. Now as it cycles through, they now put Marco Andretti in third with Elio Castroneves fourth. Stay with us.
What's the matter? I think I ate the bones. I think I ate the bones. I ate the bones!
It's KFC original recipe without the bones. White or dark meat, boneless and skinless. Get a 2-piece combo for just $4.99. Today tastes so good.
That's why we sponsor the Iowa Corn Indy 250. Look, it's IndyCar driver Marco Andretti.
Hey, kids.
Are you really a race car driver?
Yeah.
Did you know that IndyCars fill up with E85?
Of course, it's 85% ethanol.
You don't look very tall. Can you touch the pedals?
Yes.
Does your car go faster with the 85?
Yeah, ever since I've been using it in the IndyCar, I get better fuel efficiency and engine performance.
Can you burn rubber in that car?
Enter the Iowa Corn Red Carpet Sweepstakes before June 26th at iowacorn.org/redcarpet.
Your car. It's been your wingman, drum set, dining room, and best friend. Your getaway vehicle. Baby maker and baby soother. At Pennzoil, we know it doesn't matter what you do in your car. It only matters what you put in it. That's why Pennzoil is designed to give you unsurpassed engine protection, so you can protect your car and the memories made in it.
It's not about how you look. The new set of Firestones, it's about how you feel. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
Inside yours.
Keep pushing here, bud. Now turn 4, spotter. Turn 4's clear.
Streaming 4-in-1 Mosaic.
Inside. One push to fast left. Be smart here.
Live pit crew chatter. Riding shotgun from green flag to checkered. That's powerful. Download IndyCar 13 now, only from Verizon.
Coverage of Major League Baseball continues on ESPN. Tomorrow night at 8, battle in the NL Central. Carlos Beltran leads the Cardinals against Joey Votto and the Reds. And then Monday at 7, AL East rivals square off. David Ortiz and the Sox take on Evan Longoria and the Rays. Both games on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. All right. Now there is Ed Carpenter. Rick, what's going on in the front of the car?
Well, as you can see, there is a glove stuck on the adjustment for the wing. They take it off. They were told by IndyCar they had to come in, so they gave a little more fuel. Now the problem is he's got to get back out there as quickly as he can. Oh, they didn't get it. They weren't able to get it off. The question is whether, well, apparently that was the replay. That was what happened earlier, but you can see now that they were actually able to get it off. The problem is they've moved back in the field.
Yeah, they were right up in the top 5, and now he'll cycle back out and be the last car on the lead lap, which is now up to 14, as several cars did stay out. And that's how Marco Andretti actually moved from 9th up to 3rd, because we had 6 lead lap cars, if you remember, that had not pitted, including Will Power and others. So here it is. It's Hunter Ray, Newgarden, Andretti, Castroneves, and Power. That's your top 5.
Ready, go, 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 green, 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 green.
We're back to racing in Texas, and look at the outside.
And Hunter Ray will hug the bottom of the track all the way around the corner, putting Kimball in the awkward position of having to pass him on the outside.
Oh, but he gets it done on the high side.
And Charlie is trying to get back on the lead lap. Now, he is actually shown in 15th position, 1 lap down, but now he's at the tail end of the lead lap. If we get another quick yellow, he's right back in the race.
Exactly. So he has as much to fight for as Hunter Ray does right now.
Side-by-side action there, that silver and red car, the 7 of Sebastian Bourdais, as we go on board with Marco Andretti.
And Castroneves is all over Hunter Ray.
Did you see the 98 of Alex Tagliani? A wiggle like that at 210 miles an hour? Oh, I got chills up the back of my spine right now, and we're up here.
Tagliani a lap down in 17th position. Bourdais is also lap traffic, so right now that 25 of Marco Andretti is trying to get around the lap vehicles, and he's having a hard time of it.
It's always easier when you're in front of the pack like he was earlier to be in clean air, as we call it. Right now, the air coming from the car in front is a little disturbing to him, but listen, he can keep on the gas. There's a lane taken away from him.
That's an Italian hand gesture, that hand on your helmet. That means, oh, arrivederci, get out of the way.
Whoa! Oh, again. This is not NASCAR. Another. Hi, how are you?
Hey, do you think they're going to be inviting each other to dinner tomorrow?
I think he's off the Christmas card list.
All right, while all that was going on, Scott Dixon has gone back out onto the track, but Dixon is now 23rd, 15 laps down.
Remember, we talked about the spotters before. Sebastian's spotter should have been telling him that Marco was coming very close, and probably Sebastian just didn't want to give space, but now he makes a very nice laneway for Helio Castroneves to get through on the high side. That was a clean pass.
I'm really liking what Castroneves' car looks like right now. He looks very, very comfortable all over the track.
And our 2 championship contenders are running 2nd and 3rd. Now, he is the only 3-time winner here at Texas.
And he has a driving style where he's aggressive, and yet he's always patient. He lets the team put him in the right strategic place, but he always manages to find a way to get the most out of every event. And that's why he's leading the points now with Andretti.
Oh, and he told me the other day, we were talking about this, talking about his 3 Indy 500 victories. He said, it's really important for me, Scott, to win a championship. I don't want to quit this series and quit motor racing without at least 1 championship for Roger Penske.
He calls you Scott? Calls me Mr. Cheever.
I would suspect not.
You saw Takuma Sato there. He is running in 5th place, but look at this gaggle of cars. Now we've got some action there. Side by side, 2 pairs of cars going after each other.
And when you do that, Marty, you dive down on the inside. You hope your car is going to stick. And for James Hinchcliffe, it did. And he's now leaving Simon Pagenaud behind.
These Andretti cars sure do look good with Hunter Ray leading and Andretti right behind him. And Vizo is 4th.
Whoa, here's Tagliani. Sebastian Saavedra on the high side there in the white number 6. Look at him fly by on the outside. Can he hold on to it? He does.
Oh, it tells you whose car is working and whose is not. And what ends up happening with this, Marty, is that when your car works well, you're not driving as hard inside the cockpit. And as we're going to ride along now with James Hinchcliffe.
Looking inside now, inside.
That's 4th position.
They're behind by 5.
James Jakes in the 16.
Now let's watch the throttle. As you mentioned, Eddie, off the throttle.
Now these 2 cars that are behind have absolutely no clean air whatsoever.
They sort of get back into single file, at least for the moment, but Jakes trying to get underneath Tagliani now.
Now watch them fan out in the corner. Everybody's trying to find enough clean air for their nose.
We talk about that clean air, Eddie. You want that clean air coming over your car because it gives you more grip going through the turns. If you're following the cars in front, that disturbed air, almost like the air off of a tractor trailer on the highway, makes your car buffet, and it's very difficult to be able to drive through the turns.
So all this action continues up front. Ryan Hunter-Reay has a 1-second lead over teammate Marco Andretti, and Helio Castroneves is third. You won't miss a thing. We're going side by side at the Firestone 550.
The drivers of Quicken Loans. Helio Castroneves, Ryan Newman, Will Power, and Tony Stewart. They are engineered to accelerate, engineered to dominate, engineered with muscle and brains, engineered for victory lane. For a home loan experience that's just as amazing as our drivers, call Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze.
It's intuitive and customizable, just like a tablet. So easy to use, it won a Best of CES award from CNET. And it comes inside this beautifully crafted carrying case. Introducing the all-new 2014 Chevrolet Impala with the available MyLink system. Ingeniously connecting you to your life and the road. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
I doth declare that thou have brought over many discounts to thine customers.
Safe driver, multi-car, paid in full. A most fulsome bounty indeed, Lord Jamie.
Thou cometh and we, thy saveth.
What are you doing?
We doth offer so many discounts, we have some to spare.
Oh, you have any of those homeowners discounts? Here we go. Thank you.
Took my shield, my lady.
These are troubling times in the kingdom.
More discounts than we know with what to do with. Now that's progressive.
This Father's Day, give Craftsman tools and give Dad the ability to make even more, from everyday projects to the ones that last a lifetime. Give the latest in Craftsman tools and make more than just his day. Craftsman, made to make.
We work the cases that S.H.I.E.L.D. hasn't classified. The strange, the unknown. It's not just spy versus spy anymore. The whole world's in on the action. Don't touch Lola.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Tuesdays this fall on ABC.
Here at the Firestone 550, Ryan Hunter-Reay is our race leader. You saw on side-by-side what appeared to be an oil line come loose, and boy, it just put a puff of smoke over everybody.
But the most important thing is that it happened in the pit lane, because when you're on the track, if that oil line went, you saw how oily that right rear tire was, he would have been into the wall.
But why is he still sitting in the car? Well, there's a puddle of oil behind.
Could it have been a brake line? Could we be, you know, we're having somebody check on it, but for Scott Dixon, it's gotten worse. Dixon is now 19 laps down. Meanwhile, everything's going very well for Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he was not a real happy guy yesterday with his race car, but he must be pretty happy right now.
We can dig a bit deeper in that. It's the Andretti Autosports team with Hunter-Reay and Marco Andretti that are holding the first two places.
And EJ Vizo is not too far behind, right, in fourth.
And Vizo was having a hard time in the first fuel tank stint. Now he seems to have recovered, and he's back on pace again. And he's only 5.1 seconds behind the leader.
Okay, that first car you saw there, Sebastian Saavedra, he's a lap down in 18th. Now, Joseph Newgarden in the second position there, that combination of the blue, the 67 with the yellow trim, he is running in 8th, and he has James Jakes in his mirror. That's the third car in your screen. That is for position.
Go ahead.
And for Newgarden, for a driver who started off in karting and went through all the feeder system to be able to get to IndyCar racing, drives for one of the smaller teams, but one of the favorite teams in IndyCar racing, Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing. And remember, Sarah Fisher used to race IndyCars herself, was a very popular driver, and along comes Joseph Newgarden when Sarah retired, and I think a very young, raw talent that will be in victory lane very shortly.
On the first full stint at the beginning of the race, he got stronger and stronger as he went into his run. Right at the end, he moved all the way up to 4th place, and here comes Jakes.
Yeah, he's got a problem right now because James Jakes tried the high side, but can't make it stick.
And all Newgarden has to do is stay on the bottom and force him to the top. It's always uncomfortable to be up on top, so make them work for it. And he knows exactly what he's doing.
But you made a great observation during the commercial break. The second line has come in. You can race it up there if you've got enough grip left in your tires.
If you have grip and if you have the courage and you have a run on somebody, but it's not some place you want to live at. But yesterday, that line was not there.
Yeah, courage is the one thing that a lot of us sitting at home would not have going in this corner. That's why you guys race the cars, and that's why we talk about it. All right, there is our race leader, Ryan Hunter-Reay. Why don't we go up to speed with Firestone and Vince Welch? Oh, let's go with Jamie first.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay leading his first laps ever at Texas Motor Speedway in his 7th start. Now, he just came on the radio and said that he wants a big adjustment on the next stop, wants less front wing, but he's also saying right now he has a vibration. Michael Andretti asking him if he can hang on. He said, I'm going to try. Vince?
Well, everything has gone smoothly so far for Marco Andretti, currently running second. The one thing he's frustrated about is Simona Di Silvestro making it very difficult for him to get around her up ahead of him. But Marco's tires lasted very well in that first session, in that first stint. In fact, Marco joked, hey, if it was going to be this good, we should have trimmed it out. Nobody laughed. Jamie.
And Justin Wilson up to 5th. Yesterday, something was overlooked on the setup. They went to work on it, missed their entire first practice session, 75 minutes. Told me today had no idea what they would have. So far, he's the only driver I've heard that's happy with the car. He's driven from 22nd up to 5th. Rick?
Well, Tony Kanaan had a vibration in the first set of tires. They brought the car in, they gave it a half turn of wing and a new set of tires. He's much happier. Last night, he told the team he likes the way this car is running so well. In fact, he said it's running better than the car he had at Indy. The other big story out there is Takuma Sato. He started 21st and has moved his way up through the field. Just a few moments ago, he was complaining since the car has just a bit of understeer. They're likely to give a small adjustment when they come in. You know, he was talking this morning. He said, you know, it's a challenge by yourself just to run alone, let alone try to pass somebody out there, Vince.
Well, on the 27 of James Hinchcliffe, it's been a little bit of a struggle for Hinch so far today. They had a vibration at the beginning of this second stint, almost came back into pit lane, decided they'd try to see if it went away as the air pressures of the tires came up. They're a little bit happier with the ride on this second stint than they were the first. Remember, he's won twice already this season, but his average finish in all the other races is 21st. He desperately feels like he needs a good race today.
And you see Graham Rahal going to the high side, but Graham is 3 laps down, shown in 22nd position. So it gives you an idea of just what's happened so far with some of our front runners. We have a total of 15 cars right now on the lead lap. And there is Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he has been 48 laps since his last pit stop. We'll be back after a word from your ABC stations.
ESPN's coverage of the Firestone 550 on ABC. Brought to you by Lunesta Esoticlone.
Back here at Texas, race leader Ryan Hunter-Reay did make a pit stop. He has gone a lap down. Look at this side-by-side action between our points leaders, and this is for the race lead. Marco Andretti on the low side. You're on board with him. That is Helio Castroneves on the high side. Who's going to get it?
That wasn't the high side. That was as high as it gets side.
Any further, you're sitting in the seat.
Still there.
Oh, he's got traffic in front of him.
Look where he's at on the racetrack. He's not on the high side. He's a lane higher than anybody has been the whole race.
He's found something up there, and it's worked for him. And Marco, who was a little bit upset earlier with some lap traffic, and namely Simona Di Silvestro. Listen a little bit earlier. Listen in.
Are you kidding me? There's the leader up there, and I'm getting blocked. Copy that. We've reported it. This is unbelievable. Who is officiating? Hang in there. Let's go again.
The same guy that was officiating last weekend is the guy that's officiating this weekend.
And this is not the place you want to lose your patience and get excited because you make a mistake and this place can bite you. So great information from Kyle Moyer saying, okay, just settle down. We'll get you in here, get you changed. And don't forget, guys, we're not even halfway in this race yet.
And remember that the second, well now soon to be the first car in screen, and the fifth car are the two that are running for the race lead. And it looks, they both last pitted 46 laps ago, but Elio looks like he's got the pressure tires here at the end of this run.
And Marco kind of got snookered in traffic, so they're both under a lot of pressure. And at this point, you'd have to say the mental battle between these 2 point leaders. Castroneves has the advantage.
He's tied up in traffic again. Charlie Kimball right there as you're on board with Charlie.
And that's the most difficult thing to do, as we see Marco now going towards the inside on turn 3 into pit lane.
So Marco has had enough as he's got to come in, and he's going to get some fresh Firestones.
So far, the race has really been Marco Andretti and Castroneves with a little bit of Hunter Ray.
Well, Andretti's led 57 laps. Hunter Ray's led 35. And Pagenaud is in, Jamie.
And Simon Pagenaud in the pit box. His third stop tonight, but just the second time that he's taken tires. Front wing adjustment as well. Let's go to Vince.
Marco Andretti went 54 laps the first stint. He went just under that here in the second stint. No changes to the 25 of Marco Andretti, just fresh Firestones it away. 9.2.
And he looked very animated inside the cockpit, Eddie.
Yeah, I understand the pressure that he's feeling. He has a great car, but he needs to just cool down a little bit. It's easy to say when you're sitting in here. He's dealing with traffic at 215 miles an hour, and they're not giving the brakes that he wants. But he'll get over this and move on. That's just the way he drives, isn't it?
Vince?
Sebastian Saavedra's had him a handful today. They've come in on multiple occasions for front wing adjustments. This time, no adjustments to the front wing, just 4 Firestones and away. Good stop for Saavedra.
8.4, very good stop. Castroneves, the problem for Saavedra is he is a lap down in 17th. Castroneves is still out there after 50 laps. Let's go down to pit lane. Tony Kanaan is in. Rick?
Kanaan didn't like the car that first time around. This stint, he likes it a lot. In fact, they don't make no adjustments. Get the fuel in. A little bit slow getting away, but he's back out on the track.
Vince?
James Hinchcliffe in the 27, a turn of front wing for him. The car got much more nervous that second stint.
Joseph Newgarden relatively happy with the car. They have not been making a lot of adjustments to it. Once again, this is only the second time he's raced here. There, you see they are making an adjustment this time. Small adjustment on the wing. They get him back out. Only the second time he's raced here. He says he's much happier this year than last.
So now that means the top 5 have still yet to make their pit stops. Castroneves, Vizo, Justin Wilson, Takuma Sato, and Ed Carpenter. Now here's James Jakes. He has pulled off. And Jamie, it's all yours.
And he did a heck of a job in qualifying. 10th, his best here. He was supposed to pit the last lap and he missed it. They told him a little bit late. He said, you saw him take a tear off there. 4 sticker tires in the #1 pit box the first time for this team. Very safe stop. 9.3 for James Jakes.
Waiting to see when Elio Castroneves pulls in. He has gone 53 laps.
And he looks very much at ease, Scott.
Getting a lot of mileage out of his E85 Sunoco fuel tank right now. I'm just going another lap or 2 more than I thought he would have, guys.
Vautier is in, Rick.
In the pits.
And this is all about education as they bring the car in, trying to do it as smoothly as possible, get the Sunoco fuel in. Once again, the first time he's raced here, the first time on a high bank oval, but they're having a problem. Something's wrong with the fuel. You can see the fueler waving along. It's engaged, but for some reason it's not flowing in. Now it looks like the fuel's finally flowing in, but a very long stint. But once again, his goal is just to finish.
And as you see on the right side, the fall off on the tires, Elio Castroneves is surrendering spots to guys that have already pitted, like Ryan Hunter-Reay, who's gone around him, Scott.
And that means when the tires start to go off, as they are designed to do, you have less grip in the turns, but he's trying to stay out as long as possible.
You saw Charlie Kimball go off. Elio's last lap, 199. Give you an idea, Tony Kanaan, who's made a stop, 213.
I don't understand what Castroneves is doing. He can't. Why would he drop off 15 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour in 1 lap?
Well, the problem is he's been out there 56 laps. Here comes Takuma Sato as he finally peels off. Rick?
Well, the goal here is to give it about half a turn of wing. Once again, he was complaining just a little bit about understeer on this last stint. The secret, trying to get a long set of run out of these tires. A lot of times they're good at the beginning, but they fall off. The goal is to have that consistency. A little slow getting away, but the Sunoco fuel's in, and he's off.
And the question is, how long does Castroneves stay out there? His last lap was at 2:01. And now Vizo, remember, he also is been out there a long time. So Justin Wilson has come around him, taking over second spot. He is 12 seconds behind Helio Castroneves. Now Wilson's been out there 52 laps, as has Vizo. But again, it's how well do you manage everything as you see Sebastian Saavedra go around. Remember, he's lapped traffic, but he's already made a stop. He's got fresher tires.
And these new tires are making such an enormous difference on the track. You really think that was the question between Castroneves, the cars were passing him?
Helio said in our pre-race, you're going to see guys on old tires go to the back, and you're going to see guys with fresh tires go to the front. Look at Newgarden. Made a stop, and he blows by Vizo like he's standing still. Whoa, a spin. And Servia's turned it around. Third caution.
Keep it running.
This plays right into Castroneves' hand.
Pencil.
And you heard Oriol say that the car stalled, so he'll have to wait for the Homaltro safety crew to come out. Team owner John Barnes in the white shirt. He told Jamie Little before the start of the race that Servia and Ryan Briscoe will now alternate the seat in this car. Servia will be back in it in Iowa, and then we'll see Briscoe at Pocono.
And that's to replace J.R. Hildebrand, who was with the team for a couple of years, but then released after the race at Indianapolis. So John said, we are now entertaining drivers to compete in our car next season.
It's always complicated for a team to change driver.
Guys, I want to point out something here. Our top 6 cars all stayed out at least 50 laps or more. Castroneves 60 laps. Franchitti 61. Look who's in 7th place. Ryan Hunter-Reay. He has 19 laps on his tires. He's the last car on the lead lap. So he is going to be in good shape. And whoa, there's the replay.
You know how difficult that is. The car comes around. The back end's loose, comes around on you. That's at 210 miles an hour, and he handles it and keeps it off the wall. He needs to go buy a lottery ticket.
Yes, he does. And probably come in and change his shorts.
I was going to ask how many times that happened to you, but after that comment, I don't think I can. All right, let's find out what happens now on this next round of pit stops, because we mentioned that the top 7 are on the lead lap. Marco Andretti is in 8th, 1 lap down, and the key to him getting back would be Ryan Hunter-Reay also coming in. But as we pointed out, Ryan's only got 20 laps on those tires. Let's go back and show you Helio Castroneves. He was following Servia.
And you never know where to go when a car is spinning, because they can go up or they can come down. Scott, as we've known many times here, I've been behind Davey Hamilton when he had an accident.
Coming in this time.
You heard the never know where to go.
Helio Castroneves will be coming in.
And you talk about that, Eddie, and all you do is react. There's no thinking involved in that. It's just instinct from the driver when you have to go around something that's spinning in front of you.
And the instinct really isn't to avoid the accident. The instinct is not just try to get out of the way.
So we'll see how many of these front runners actually come down pit road. I certainly think it's a safe bet the top 6 will. And Vince, you're going to have it first because Helio is coming your way.
Helio Castroneves went 54 laps on the first stint, 61 laps on this second stint. They made no changes the first time, but they are going to go down a quarter turn on the front wing for Helio Castroneves on this second pit stop. Jamie?
And Justin Wilson continues to march forward. He said he almost crashed that last lap through 3 and 4. Half turn of front wing. He's going to welcome the change. The change there, 4 tires. Meanwhile, E.J. Vizo said one of his right tires had such a vibration, he almost brought it in, and the caution came out. So 4 fresh tires burned into the 5 car.
Well, take a look at the race off pit road and notice Ryan Hunter-Reay did come in, even though he only had 21 laps on his tires. That's a big break for several drivers behind him, including his teammate Marco Andretti. We'll reset the field for you when we come back to Texas.
We know a place where tossing and turning have given way to sleeping, where sleepless nights yield to restful sleep, and Lunesta Asapaclone can help you get there. like it has for so many people before. Do not take Lunesta if you are allergic to anything in it. When taking Lunesta, don't drive or operate machinery until you feel fully awake. Walking, eating, driving, or engaging in other activities while asleep without remembering it the next day have been reported. Lunesta should not be taken together with alcohol. Abnormal behaviors may include aggressiveness, agitation, hallucinations, or confusion. In depressed patients, worsening of depression, including risk of suicide, may occur. Alcohol may increase these risks. Allergic reactions such as tongue or throat swelling occur rarely and may be fatal. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, dizziness, and morning drowsiness. Ask your doctor if Lunesta is right for you. Then find out how to get Lunesta for as low as $15 at Lunesta.com. There's a land of restful sleep. We can help you go there on the wings of Lunesta.
Woo! Sign a waiver?
Waiver?
Two seats, one for you and one for racing legend Mario Andretti. The fastest seat in sports sweepstakes. Enter for a chance to start an IZOD IndyCar Series race at shophonda.com.
It's time to stop dreaming of the open road and start riding. The Can-Am Spider. Buy one now and we'll cover your payments through Labor Day. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Learn more at your Can-Am Spider dealer or canam.brp.com.
What's the matter?
I think I ate the bones. I think I ate the bones. I ate the bones!
It's KFC original recipe without the bones. White or dark meat, boneless and skinless. Get a two-piece combo for just $4.99. Today tastes so good.
Give me your street circuits, your ovals. Give me your road courses and your cathedrals of speed. Give me drivers who live to put it all on the line and cars unlike any other. Because this is America, and here we race IndyCar.
Next stop, the Milwaukee Mile.
The Firestone 550 is green. Oh, it's tight. Uh-oh, Dixon's in trouble.
A wiggle like that at 210 miles an hour? Oh, I got chills up the back of my spine.
That's an Italian hand gesture, that hand on your helmet.
A lot of action here under the lights at Texas Motor Speedway. Glad that you're with us here on ABC. We have gone past halfway, 108 laps remaining out of the 228 at the Firestone 550. Elio Castroneves is our race leader. And let's go back and listen to the radio because they were having a bit of a problem on pit road.
You were too close to the wall that time, buddy. You know what happened? I tried to brake and it wasn't stopping. Actually, my lights are too bright. I can't see. All the lights coming in, I could not see. It was too bright.
Well, that's a good problem to have. A lot of times when you're talking about a night race, the pit lane actually is just the opposite. But for Elio Castroneves, it was so bright. And there you heard one thing, though, that can play a huge role. Him getting too close to the pit lane wall doesn't give the workers enough space to change those left side tires. All those lights along pit lane, they lit it up for Elio, but it was actually a little bit of a problem for him. He'll see if he can be better next time. It'll have to be.
Well, and we should point out also Ed Carpenter missed his radio call. He did not come in when the other front runners. It didn't cost him too much. He came in on the very next lap. He's back out in 7th. But it did allow Marco Andretti, with the fact that Ryan Hunter-Reay did pit, to get back on the lead lap, and several others. Andretti shown in 8th. And Kanaan, Newgarden, and Jakes right behind him. And as we said, 14 cars on the lead lap. The top 5 is Castroneves, Power, Wilson, Vizo, and Ryan Hunter-Reay. Dario Franchitti has fought his way back into 6th. Coming up to speed, Elio Castroneves gets a big jump.
Flag, green flag.
Now that's second car in line. That is Will Power, his teammate.
And Marty, as a driver, you know you're about ready to go green. Usually you're a little bit more aware of when you should get on the gas, but Elio really just out-snookered his teammate Will Power and got a great jump there.
Justin Wilson in the red, white, and blue number 19. E.J. Vizo right behind him. And there's Ryan Hunter-Reay. There's 3 cars in your screen.
Remember that middle car, we're looking at E.J. Vizo of the Andretti Autosport team, how bad his car was at the beginning of the race. Obviously have made some changes and now looking to take a pass on the outside.
And we'll see if he can hold the high line all the way around 1 and 2.
We're getting word from race control. Simona Di Silvestro will get a 30-second penalty for passing the pace car. She is on the lead lap right now in 13th. She won't be after serving the penalty. Side by side right now, Ryan Hunter-Reay on the tie side going around the 19, and here comes more.
And he was stuck like Louis. Vizo's going in the pits.
So Vizo is peeling off here, and it's only been 8 laps since his last stop, so something must be going on in that car.
Wow.
We're being told that E.J. Vizo had a pit safety violation, so that is why he is coming down. Jamie, bring us up to date.
That's exactly right. He hit a tire on his pit stop, so they just told him drive-through penalty. Meanwhile, you saw Simona Di Silvestro behind him serving her penalty as well.
Now she has to come to a complete stop and has. Meanwhile, out on the track, Helio Castroneves has a 1-second lead over Will Power.
This is something we have not seen all season long. It's the first time that both Penske cars are leading a race, and they're doing it on a very technical circuit, and they are in a good place to keep that scuff, as you say, towards the end.
Absolutely, and for Helio Castroneves, who really is the oval master, and Will Power, who is the road course specialist for street circuits and that type of thing, he's actually doing a great job now. He has to stay up with that and stay there throughout this event. He cannot fall off like he's done in many previous events.
But we've seen this race, after about 10 laps, they'll be into the back markers again when they start passing those cars, and that creates a big block.
Marco Andretti with the 25 car with Sebastian Bourdais. Now Bourdais is lap traffic. He is shown in 17th. And you can see Marco's having trouble getting around him.
That quick twitch in the middle wasn't good.
No, remember Marco wasn't happy with back traffic before, but Tony Kanaan right now on the bottom side looking to make way in the smoking machine and goes by easily.
Well, you saw Marco have a little wiggle there. He had a quick correction with the steering wheel.
When one car gets past you here, it is really difficult to get back into the rhythm and to speed the car again, because you come all the way off the throttle.
So move Kanaan into 7th right there in the yellow and blue number 11. And Andretti gets bumped back to 8th.
And Kanaan is now 7th. Didn't I just say that?
James going side by side with Newgarden. And that is a battle for position. And here comes Charlie Kimball. Now, Kimball is 1 lap down in 14th. So this is not a battle for position, but Kimball trying to get back onto the lead lap, but he's going to have to pass quite a few cars to do that.
Katie is holding his own. He's 4.7 seconds back in 6th place. And Carpenter's 5.
Yeah, despite missing the pit stop on the first go, you're right. Carpenter has moved into the top 5. As you get a look there at Marco Andretti, he's running in the 8th spot.
Now, with Marco's car seemingly not working very well for him, you've heard some teams talk about use your tools. Drivers have adjustments inside their cockpit that they can use. They can change the sway bar on the front and the rear, which changes the suspension, and also use what they call a weight jacker, which is a toggle switch in the steering wheel, which moves weight from your left front to your right front wheel, and drivers can change the handling characteristics of their cars throughout the run.
But you know what's really happening right now is the track is getting cooler. The cars are performing better. The balance of the cars are changing. And as we go ahead, the track is falling into Penske's lap.
There is Ed Carpenter, and right in front of him is Justin Wilson, last year's winner. Now, this is for position. It's a battle between 4th and 5th place, and Carpenter has not had great finishes here. Now, remember, he also won the last race at Fontana the end of last season, but he has said we've never been able to quite get over the hump. We've had good runs, we just don't get good finishes.
He's an old school driver. He comes from the oval school, so you should always expect him to do well. He had a great Indy 500 this year, and I would not be surprised if he keeps improving his car, that he'll be right up in that front group for that last pit stop.
All right, well, we have a total of 12 cars on the lead lap with 94 laps to go. Helio Castroneves is the man up front. Does he get his first win of the season? Stay with us.
Hey, Joe, when are you ever going to put your idea online?
Relax, Cal. It's not like anyone else is going to have the exact same idea that popped into my head.
How do you know no one else has thought of it, Harry?
Because they haven't, Kelly. It's totally original.
It's one in a gazillion.
Oh, really? Really?
It's idiot-proof. It's a real moneymaker. And thank goodness I put it online first.
More champagne, sir?
More everything, Sky Waitress.
Don't wait. Register your big idea as a .co domain at GoDaddy.
Introducing a car company that's never made a single car. We took the power of a 9-year-old V8 and gave it the impressive handling of Firestone's Destination tire. Now, moms agree. Every milk run feels like a victory lap. So whatever you drive a Firestone. Get the tires and see turbo. Visit a participating Firestone retailer for details.
Introducing the EOS Rebel T5i and EOS Rebel SL1, the world's smallest and lightest digital SLR. From Canon.
Take care of your engine and it'll go far. One way I take care of my engine is with 1A Men's, a complete multivitamin with nutrients to help support heart health. Compared to Centra Men's, it has more vitamin D to help support healthy blood pressure.
1A Men's.
I'm Terry, and I'm living with my father who crippled me emotionally.
Hi.
Hello.
Not you.
When it comes to Terry and her dad,
You stink!
they're always striking out.
$20 if you can nail him.
I told you sucks.
But this fall,
I could use some help to practice.
No problem.
all they need is a little coaching.
You couldn't manage a liquor store.
James Caan, Maggie Lawson, back in the game. Wednesdays this fall on ABC.
Back here at Texas, we want to remind you, we just got word that NASCAR Nationwide Series at Iowa, they've gotten washed out for today. They'll run that race tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. You'll see it on ESPN2. So the NASCAR Nationwide Series tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Helio Castroneves has opened up a 2.6-second lead here as he has now knocked down 46 laps as the leader. Second only to Marco Andretti's 57. Will Power is in second place. He just went screaming by. Ryan Hunter-Reay in third. Ed Carpenter in fourth. And Dario Franchitti has moved his way back into the top 5.
And those first 4 cars are all Chevrolets.
And that is Dario's car. In case you just joined us from the NASCAR event, that's not the usual number 10 colors. As we go on board with Dario.
You heard him go down a gear because the cars start to slow down mid-turn here, scrubbing off speed.
In fact, I was talking to the team just a little while ago. I said, is he getting happy with the car? He said, well, maybe just a little happier, not much. Once again, this is not the way this race is going. He's been on the pole here twice, 2 previous events. You see, they adjust the front wing and send him back out. No serious problems. The car just isn't working the way he wants it to.
He's 3 laps down in 22nd place. Will Power going underneath a very disappointed Graham Rahal. He's 21st, 3 laps down. Jamie, what are you hearing on that 12 car?
Well, you know, Will Power's not one of those guys you look at and say he's an oval ace. He told me, as a matter of fact, to get a win here would be enormous. Technically, he has one here, but it was a twin race back in 2011. It was half the length of tonight's race. Now, what he's saying on the radio right now, the car's not bad, and it's actually manageable with the tools inside the race car. He's been happy from start to right now, Marty.
All right, thank you, Jamie. And now he is, as we said, 5.6 seconds behind. Another couple of seconds back. Well, it's closing now. As you saw, Ryan Hunter-Reay running in third. And let's listen to Ryan's radio.
Hey, we really need to save the tires. This has to be a full stint. All right, I'm just hanging in here. I mean, I'm doing my best. All you can do.
Now, normally we're hearing them say, save fuel, but this race has been all about tires.
And that's reason because the drivers really asked for tires that did not have as much grip. Previously, we came here and the Firestone makes such a great product. Cars had so much grip, the drivers will be able to drive around here flat out, not lifting. Drivers want to put it more in the driver's hands, so they asked Firestone to make a tire that degraded. They have done that. The drivers love driving the cars. Yes, they slide around a little bit, but Eddie, you know that when you drive as hard as you can here and you do something with the car, you feel like you've accomplished something.
He's on new tires. He's on new tires. He just fitted.
Let me just tell everybody what a dominant position Castroneves is in. He is doing laps at 205. The next car next to him is doing laps in 202. He has almost a 7-second advantage on willpower.
Elio's 16th race here at Texas, the 11th race here that he has led. He's led over 400 laps, and there's the man calling the shots for him, the captain, Roger Penske.
Isn't it time he got a promotion from a captain to an admiral?
Should be at least an admiral. Vince, you've got more?
Well, Roger Penske really consistent on the radio with Elio Castroneves, updating him on his race pace and also his margin of an advantage. They just passed the halfway mark on their fuel tank, and he let him know where they are on fuel. Manage your tires, encouraging him to use those tools in the car. The weight jackers, stay ahead of your tires. Don't be reacting to how they fall off. Stay ahead of it. And so far, these guys have been great. They haven't made a chassis adjustment other than a quarter turn on that last stop.
And he just put Oriol Servia 3 laps down now. Servia in 20th after that spin brought out one of our 3 cautions. The lead now up to 7.2 seconds over teammate Will Power. So finally, Team Penske has something to brag about.
I think he's in the pits. No.
So Elio continues along as we motor through this race. We're flying 77 laps to go out of the 228 schedule. And we have a total of 12 cars on the lead lap. Total of 4 different leaders with 5 lead agents. Now Sebastian Saavedra is making a pit stop as he is 2 laps down, soon to be 3. And he is running in 16th. So they continue that work. And Elio Castroneves continues to just motor away from this field. He's got an 8-second lead over teammate Will Power. Stay with us. We'll be back after a word from your ABC stations. Let's get you caught up on the Mother's Race rundown and show you what happened so far. Watch the number 9 there, the red and white target car, almost going off-road. And then later it got worse as Scott Dixon had problems out on track. Then they got into working on it, and then this is what happened. And he is right now shown as out of this race. Marco Andretti's had a hot kind of night, and it's not temperature-wise. He's been frustrated with a lot of lap traffic. Now, while we were away, he did pit, and let's show you exactly what happened there. But he finds himself now in 15th and shown 2 laps down. Earlier stop, Scott, they had problems with the fuel buckeye, but not on this one.
Nice clean stop. Obviously the car we saw starting to go away from him. It was not working as it did earlier in the race. So whoa, wow. Simon Pagenaud really off the pace there. I'm sure something happened back in turn 2. And for these drivers to react in that closing speed, and you know that, boy, you just have to miss the car that's slowing down in front of you.
And we were worried about that this morning because we saw that there was going to be this big speed differential between cars that had new tires on and cars that had old tires on, and that was the occasion.
But Pagenaud has 40 laps on his tire. Castroneves had 44, and he went past him like he was standing still. Now, let's go back and see what happened. Maybe. Whoa, there's your problem.
Yeah, a little touching. Excuse me.
And then here's the closing race.
Look at that. What a great job by Simon.
Rick?
Tony Kanaan brings the car in. That Sunoco colors getting Sunoco fuel. They've got a problem. They've lost the wheel nut onto the track. They've got to go out and get it. Makes it for a slightly longer pit stop. The car's been running very well. Unfortunately, that's a slightly longer pit stop.
but each of the crew members have an extra nut on top of their belt. So when the nut falls off like that and goes out into the track or onto the pit lane, they just reach around, grab that belt, open it up, grab the nut, stick it back on there, and use the tire gun to get
now
that.
Notice Marco Andretti on the low side there going around Elio Castroneves. Now Andretti obviously has just pitted, as you see Joseph Newgarden now making his stop.
Go, 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 go. Clear out. Behind Anton.
So they look like they had a bit of a problem there as we go back out on track, and Elio Castroneves side by side with Takuma Sato. That's Sato on the high side. And here comes Tony Kanaan. Now remember, Kanaan has got fresher tires.
+8.
And there's no way you can hold him off.
Looking inside.
And there's nothing Elio can do. Look at the way he just pulls away. Tires have been everything in this race tonight. 65 laps to go.
Real good work here.
So everybody has at least one more stop in their future.
So the key here is making sure you get your tires at the last moment.
There you see Castroneves' fastest lap at 2:14. His last lap here, 200. Here comes Saavedra. Now remember, Sebastian is 3 laps down in 18th, but again, he has already made his pit stop 11 laps ago. Charlie Kimball on pit lane. Kimball, Rick?
Yeah, Charlie Kimball had a little bit of a problem when he came in for his earlier pit stop. They were having some issues. The biggest problem is he simply got caught out by the yellow. He came in at the wrong time. As a result, that's what put him a lap down. Now the secret is to just battle up to try to see if they can get back up on the lead lap. Car isn't handling too badly now, but they've got to catch up. Just 7.8 seconds. Very quick pit stop, but he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as Elio Castroneves puts him 2 laps down right now, but don't forget, Elio and several other cars still have to make a stop. Takuma Sato's in, Rick.
The goal here with this team all weekend long has been not to make mistakes. They've had some little issues that have bugged them all through the course of the season. They had a great victory, but some of the other races they've caused mistakes that have hurt them. This race so far, no mistakes, everything going perfectly. And as you can see, Sato gets back out there.
He'll cycle back out, but again, he is now shown 2 laps down. But as we mentioned, the top 6 cars have yet to make a stop. And boy, James Jakes has been out there 61 laps on this set of tires.
Castroneves just keeps on munching away.
He did this on his last field stint.
Watch the traffic. Bourdais next car. Bourdais.
He had the fastest race lap the last lap.
Yes.
Second quickest was Carpenter. Third was Hunter Ray. And James Jakes is heading your way, Jamie Little.
And he just told the team, yes, I need a half turn of front wing to help the handling on this car. You see the overhead shot as he pulls right into the number 1 pit box. 4 tires here, sticker tires, of course. Clock ticks down. They make that quick adjustment there. Down and smooth for James Jakes.
So he gets back out right now. 5 cars remaining on the lead lap, but all of them have to make a stop, including that man right there. That is Elio Castroneves. You're not going to miss a thing as we're going to go side by side as we are winding down the laps. We've only had 3 cautions tonight. This race has been flying by with Elio Castroneves out front at the Firestone 550.
It's not about how you look. The new set of Firestones, it's about how you feel. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
It's time to stop dreaming of the open road and start riding. The Can-Am Spyder. Buy one now and we'll cover your payments through Labor Day. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Learn more at your Can-Am Spyder dealer or canam.brp.com.
This Father's Day, give Craftsman tools and give Dad the ability to make even more, from everyday projects to the ones that last a lifetime. Give the latest in Craftsman tools and make more than just his day. Craftsman, made to make.
The drivers of Quicken Loans. Elio Castroneves, Ryan Newman, Will Power, and Tony Stewart. They are engineered to accelerate, engineered to dominate, engineered with muscle and brains, engineered for victory lane. For a home loan experience that's just as amazing as our drivers, call Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze.
Original recipe.
Dad, I think you ate the bones. I ate the bones?
It's KFC original recipe without the bones. White or dark meat, boneless and skinless. Get 4 pieces in your next 10-piece mixed bucket for $14.99. Today tastes so good.
With our Name Your Price tool, people pick a price and we help them find a policy that works for them. Also, we've been working on something very special. One day, the world, no, the universe, will have the pricing power they deserve. We'll work on it.
Stopping at nothing to help you save.
From the creator of CSI comes a murder mystery competition
Somebody here is a murderer.
where winning is all in the execution. Who Done It? Series premiere Sunday, June 23rd, 9/8 Central on ABC.
Welcome to Level 7.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Tuesdays this fall on ABC.
Great thing about side-by-side, you've seen all the pit stops, and these are going to be the final pit stops for all these 5 cars that were on the lead lap. Jamie.
This is when the pit stops matter the most. Will Power been happy with the car all night. 4 tires there, and it's a clean stop.
So Castroneves, Power, Dario Franchitti just pulling out. And here comes Hinchcliffe in, Vince.
They did turns the front wing the first 2 stops, and they'll do a quarter turn again on this stop, giving Hinchcliffe just a little bit more stability and comfort as he tries to make this late charge.
So what we're seeing here is all those cars, when we went to break, the top 5, they're going to be able to go the distance. Now, there are a few that did make a stop a couple of laps earlier, like James Jakes. We think he can go the distance. But there's going to be others that are going to have to make one more stop.
Guy. Real good job. Nice and good. Take care of your stuff.
So let's reset it for you, because Helio Castroneves has a 4-second lead over Tony Kanaan. Now, Kanaan pitted 17 laps ago, and we have 51 still remaining. That means he's probably going to have to stop one more time.
I think, but not only is that to stop, but Castroneves has a brand new set of tires on, and that's been a big advantage all night. And they've been telling him from the pits, save your tires, and he's just saving his tires. He just did a 2:12. And the next car behind him has done a 2:09, so he's always been 2 or 3 miles quicker than anybody else in the truck.
Well, and we heard...
No more stops. No more stops.
And we heard...
There goes slot 2. Slot 6.
Okay, what is he talking about there, Scott? Slot 2, slot 6?
Different settings that the driver can control on top of his steering wheel. There's a little knob there, fuel settings. So now they might try and just run a little bit less fuel. Didn't know if he took a full tank of fuel or not. Maybe he just wanted to save a little bit of weight. This is all strategy by the team, but they should be good to go all the way to the end.
All right, while this race continues, a 5-second lead for Helio Castroneves. Got to remind you, the NBA Finals continue Sunday night right here on ABC. Tony Parker led the Spurs that big road win in game number 1. Well, now LeBron and the Heat, they're going to try and even things up. Game 2, NBA Finals tomorrow on ABC. Our coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with Kia NBA Countdown. And game 1 was fun to watch. It's fun to watch this right now because instead of a fuel strategy race, we have seen tire management become the key. And really, what the guys told us before the start of this race was, if you had the balance on your car right, even as the tires fell off, you were going to be able to get through this. And that's what Helio Castroneves and his team has done the best.
And he's used that top line better than anybody else has all day.
Show you the gap from first to second. Even after the pit stops, it is 7.3 seconds, and that is Tony Kanaan. Now, he pitted 21 laps to go. Well, he's going to be short, and so is the man who's in third place.
Something's really wrong. I'm so loose.
That's Tony talking about how loose he is. Andretti is another 15 seconds behind the race leader. He pitted...
Pressures look good.
He pitted 27 laps ago, so both those guys are going to have to stop.
And what you hear right now on Tony Kanaan's radio, he's saying that the car is really loose, meaning the back end wants to come around every time he goes into the turn. The team radioed back and told him to confirm to him that the tire pressures on their telemetry system, everything checks out okay, to let him know there's not a tire going down so he can have confidence to drive the car very hard.
Team co-owner Jimmy Vasser, he had a much bigger smile on his face at the end of the Indianapolis 500 than he has right now. He knows he's got to make one more stop, and he's trying to figure out, how do we pull this off? The other guy that's in the catbird seat right now is Ryan Hunter-Reay, running fourth. He pitted around the same time as Castroneves. Rick, give us an update.
Well, they've been talking all race about how they were on the same strategy as Marco Andretti. At one point, I think they thought that was going to play into their hands. Now, obviously, what they've calculated is that they're going to be 13 laps short. What this team needs more than anything else is not just a yellow, but a long yellow if he's going to be able to do anything. But that big problem you heard a moment ago, car isn't handling right for him. So even if they can stay up there and get that yellow flag, it may not be what he needs.
So Tony Kanaan continues to try and get the best that he can out of his race car.
But he says he has a loose car. He just did a 2:05, which is only, and I say only, 3 miles slower than Helio Castroneves, who has been the fastest car on the track for quite some time.
Laps continue to wind down here. 42 to go. Now there's Marco Andretti right in front of Ryan Hunter-Reay. Now Ryan, he pitted 1 lap earlier than Helio Castroneves. He's running in fourth right now. Let's listen in on his radio.
Well, I can push the tires, and try and get by Marco, but I guess we'll just settle in.
Settle in. That means don't take any risk. Just run as many miles as you can, and you're going to have to, I think he has to come in.
No, he won't, because he and Helio pitted inside the window. But his problem is he's 15 seconds behind Helio Castroneves right now.
Mixture three.
You know, the other thing, too, is that maybe you don't want to push so hard right now, because if you end up getting a yellow, then everybody bunches together for the restart. You don't want to push your tires, because we know at the end of the run, the tires go away from you. And if we do have a yellow, I would not be surprised to see all the lead cars come in for a fresh set of Firestone tires if we've got, say, 10 or 15 laps to go, because there would definitely be more grip, and it'd be worth a chance.
Do you really think Castroneves would come in?
Boy, I'll tell you what, that'd be a hard decision to give up that track tip position, but we'll find out. All right, 39 laps to go here at the Firestone 550. Helio Castroneves looking for victory number 1 of this season.
That's why we sponsor the Iowa Corn Indy 250. Look, it's IndyCar driver Marco Andretti.
Hey, kids.
Are you really a race car driver?
Yeah.
Did you know that IndyCars fill up with the E85?
Of course, it's 85% ethanol.
You don't look very tall. Can you touch the pedals?
Yes.
Does your car go faster with the 85?
Yeah, ever since I've been using it in the IndyCar, I get better fuel efficiency and engine performance.
Can you burn rubber in that car?
Enter the Iowa Corn Red Carpet Sweepstakes before June 26th at iowacorn.org/redcarpet.
Live in-car cameras. 4-in-1 mosaic. Having your heart race as fast as theirs.
Very good screen.
That's powerful.
Download IndyCar 13 now, only from Verizon.
At Honda, we know you. We know how you like to move at your own pace. And how you don't always see everything coming. Introducing a car that starts with you. The more powerful, more responsive, all-new Accord from Honda.
Honda, proud partner of the IZOD IndyCar Series.
This is almost too good to be true. Introducing all-you-could-eat wings only at Golden Corral.
This is off the chart huge. This incredible wing fest is something only Golden Corral can do. Dig into endless buffalo wings, amazing spicy garlic wings, Tennessee barbecue wings, teriyaki honey wings, boneless wings too. All you can eat, and it's every night of the week. It's Golden Corral's new Wing Fest. All on our endless dinner buffet, still for one amazingly low price, and it's only at Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness.
Back here at Texas Motor Speedway, 33 laps to go, and the drama continues to unfold. An exciting race because it's been different than anything we've seen in quite a while. Tires have been the key, and we just found out during the break, Elio Castroneves and Ryan Hunter-Reay do have one fresh set of tires left. So, Scott, your theory that if we got a late race caution, it could bring all the front runners in, pack everything back up, and there'd be a shootout, and those two would still have the benefit of fresh tires.
Well, and they might be further back in the queue, but new tires, as we've seen, can give you as much as 10 miles an hour. So if you've got 15 laps to go, something in that neighborhood, I think you have to take the chance on it.
So the 3 car has a 7-second lead over Tony Kanaan, who we hear is about ready to pit. And you can see Simona Di Silvestro, she has already pitted just 21 laps ago. She's got fresher tires, goes around our race leader. Simona is 3 laps down in 16th. Remember, she had a 30-second penalty for passing the pace car earlier. Now there is Ryan Hunter-Reay. He is 12 seconds now behind Elio Castroneves. Let's listen in. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait a minute. Tony Kanaan is coming down pit road. Let's go there first. Rick?
Okay, this creates an interesting situation. He is going to put on those fresh tires. They're going to take out half a turn of wing. He wasn't totally happy with the car, the way the car was running. But he's going to be on a fresh set of tires for a shorter stint in this last set of racing laps. So, will these tires make a difference? We're about to find out.
Well, the problem is he's a lap down.
I don't think anybody, even with new tires, has the speed to catch up to Castroneves. Anytime he wants, he just goes up a lane. He's the only guy that's using the highest lane, and he's been so fast throughout the whole race.
There is Ryan Hunter-Reay in 3rd place. And we mentioned his radio. Let's listen in.
Is there any merit to saying our own teammate holds us back here if he's got a pit? I mean, I don't know what's going on, but we're slowing down for him here. No, because if the yellow comes out, then we're going to pit, he's going to pit, and then we're going to be in a race. So it's not fair of me to do that.
So he was referring to Marco Andretti, who is a little less than a second ahead of Ryan Hunter-Reay. And Marco has got to come in for one more stop.
And Castroneves is 9 seconds ahead of Marco and 10 seconds ahead of Hunter-Reay.
Charlie Kimball is in. Fuel goes in. Kimball showing 2 laps down in 15th right now. He's been off sequence. And as he comes out, Castroneves' lead is now down to 8 seconds over Andretti and 9 seconds over Ryan Hunter-Reay. So he is beginning to slow down.
And Castroneves is passing his teammate. This race is falling right into Castroneves' lap.
So Will Power, who is in 7th position, is now 1 lap down. The top 6 are on the lead lap. It is Castroneves, Andretti, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Carpenter, Jakes, and Franchitti. That is your only cars on the lead lap.
And the first 4 cars are shut
Great job, bud.
You know, for Castroneves, he may not be the fastest guy on the track right now, but sometimes the fastest guy doesn't always win the race. Seal seems to be able to keep bay with Marco Andretti as far as speed is concerned. Ryan Hunter-Reay, even though he caught up by about 4 or 5 seconds, now is running 1 mile an hour slower than Elio.
Now the word we're getting is Marco Andretti. He's approaching 50 laps on this stint. That's been about his max. And we're waiting to find out. And looks like he may be making his way. Yes, he's heading down pit road. Vince.
Marco Andretti's been a little bit frustrated that everybody else has taken their last pit stop, namely Elio Castroneves, and he has waited so long. Now that could have played into their favor. He's going to have fresher tires for these final 23 laps than what Elio's got on right now. But is it going to be enough time and enough difference in those fresh tires to catch up? Strong stop for Marco at 8.4. The balance of his car has been good, but this man that you see there, Elio Castroneves, he has far and away been the best tonight.
And that means now 6 cars are shown on the lead lap, and it's now Elio Castroneves and Ryan Hunter-Reay running first and second. Stay with us. We're heading for the finish. We'll be back after a word from your ABC stations. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues on ESPN. Tomorrow night at 8, we've got an NL Central battle. We've got the Cardinals against the Reds. And then Monday at 7, AL East rivals square off. It's the Red Sox and the Rays. You can catch both games on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. What we want you to watch right now is the last 16 laps of our race here at Texas Motor Speedway. Elio Castroneves is your race leader by 6 seconds now over Ryan Hunter-Reay. So Ryan has closed the gap.
He has closed the gap, and he's starting to put pressure on Castroneves. It looks like our American champion might have something for the Brazilian, Castroneves.
James Jakes. Now, we thought he had enough to go. In fact, he pitted 44 laps ago. Jamie, what's going on?
Well, Marty, they actually told him on the radio, this is your last stop. We're good to the end. But that wasn't true. He was a few laps short, so he decided to bring it in. He was running fourth when he did that. They'll fill it up just enough with Sunoco fuel to get him to the end. 4 tires. The tires take longer. 7.8 seconds. That's got to be frustrating, Marty.
Wow. That's disappointing, especially coming off the high they had last week at Detroit with a second-place career best.
Castroneves has cut it. His lead is cut down to 5.2 seconds, and we have 14 laps to go.
And the reason being is that Castroneves is turning laps of 198 miles an hour when Ryan Hunter-Reay is turning laps of 202 miles an hour.
So maybe those laps that Hunter-Reay took behind Marco Andretti saving his equipment might have actually given him some more grip out of his tires, and it might be perfect right here for the end.
Well, and that's what Elio told me today that he had to do. He said it's going to be the driver that can be consistent throughout the run. He said, I can't go fast and have the car fall off. I have to be consistent. So is he just trying to run some laps right now, and he just turned a 200-mile-an-hour lap, as did Ryan Hunter-Reay? Is he just going to wait until Ryan Hunter-Reay gets to about, maybe 2 seconds, and then start to speed up a little bit, keeping some in the bank in reserve? We'll have to wait and see.
Now, remember, Tony Kanaan had to come in for that late splash? Well, guess what? With those fresher tires, while we were in break, he got around. He's back on the lead lap. In fact, he is ahead of Dario Franchitti, and he is in 4th place, and he's turning the fastest lap of all the cars on the lead lap right now. Now, it's 19 seconds back. We probably don't have enough time with 11 laps to go. But if we get a late caution right now, he's back in the mix.
Turned 208 miles an hour that last time. And yes, it's a gamble. It's a strategy. If the yellow comes out, you definitely want the fresher tires.
It's a full straightaway difference.
And how long do these fresh tires stay fresh?
Well, you've said it, about, 5, 6 laps. And then they start to fall off. There is your race leader, Elio Castroneves.
Now watch the lane he takes. He's the only driver that's been able to go that high all day long.
Now, that is Dario Franchitti that we're riding on board with. And remember, Franchitti is the last car on the lead lap. He's 5th.
Trying to come on the outside, on your corner. Coming outside. Outside. You're all clear behind him if you need it.
That is a big break for him.
And to go.
4 cars now on the lead lap, and now we're down to 9 laps to go.
And you can see how much better Elio Castroneves' car works through the middle of a turn versus Dario Franchitti, because it just left him by about 4 or 5 car lengths in that one turn alone.
Down into turn number 3. Elio hugs the line. There is Ed Carpenter. Rick?
I tell you what, an interesting race it's been for Ed Carpenter. They had 2 issues with 2 different pit stops. First with that glove, then Carpenter did not hear the call, so he didn't come in the second time. But now he's managed to run up in the top 4 for most of the evening. His only problem now, right behind him, not that car you see right there, but a little further back is Tony Kanaan, who's slowly but surely reeling him in. It was 7 seconds the gap, now it's down to 3 or 4. So he's got to figure out how to keep Kanaan behind him.
Well, and no matter how this ends up, this will be Carpenter's best finish here at Texas. His prior best was 9th. Right now he's looking at a potential 3rd place and maybe 4th if Kanaan can get around him. 7 laps to go. Now Newgarden gets past, but remember, Newgarden is now in 9th spot, 1 full lap down. And here comes Kanaan closing for 3rd.
And his speed has gone down to a 204, so he's dropped from a 208 to a 204, and Carpenter's doing a 198.
And I think it's a safe bet to say Tony's got enough laps with 6 to go to get around him. Last spot on the podium, he goes under him very easily. So now move Kanaan into third, but he's still 16 seconds behind the race lead. And you haven't missed anything up front. It has stayed a 4-second gap between race leader Helio Castroneves as he's coming across the stripe. This time it'll be 5 laps to go. Ryan Hunter-Reay in second place.
You know, I think Helio let the Ryan Hunter-Reay get to about 4 seconds, and now he's turned up the whip just a little bit. Helio that last time 201 miles an hour, Ryan Hunter-Reay 198. Now these guys would know exactly how the competitors are doing via the radio from their team. So I'm sure that Helio was told, just pick it up a little bit, buddy. We need another mile an hour out of you.
Helio crosses the stripe. You heard the call, 4 to go. You want to know where second place is? It's that yellow car right there with Will Power, who is lap traffic right in front of him.
Even though those 2 cars behind him are chasing him down, looks like they're quicker. Helio has to be very careful he doesn't get caught up in any problem.
Well, Will Power being the lap vehicle, it added 2 more seconds to the lead. It's now up to 6.
And that Will Power was a teammate of Helio Castroneves. Was that properly timed? I thought that was a very good move by Will.
Takuma Sato. Now remember, he is 2 laps down. Well, now make it 1 lap down as he has just gotten one of them back. He's on fresher tires.
We are looking at a Penske execution race, haven't they? They've done everything perfect right from the get-go, and Castroneves is showing us why he has won so many races on ovals, and especially those 3 Indy 500s.
He is the only 3-time winner here at Texas. He now only has 2 laps to go. And finally, it looks like, unless something catastrophic happens in the last 2 laps, Team Penske will make it to winner's circle and become our 7th different winner in 8 races.
You know, I spoke to the Penske engineers just after the drivers' meeting here today, and they said that the track is going to cool off by 20 or 25
white flag
degrees.
Here, white flag, nice and smooth here.
And
nice and smooth.
Cars will get better as the evening goes on. That's exactly what's happening.
Clear by 20.
Clear by 20. It'll be his 4th win at Texas. He won in 04, 06, and 09 as he heads down the backstretch.
Let him go.
We mentioned it'll be the 7th different winner in 8 races, but it'll be his first win on an oval since Motegi in 2010. Helio Castroneves takes the checkers.
Great job, buddy. Great job. All right.
Takes the points lead by himself.
You're the man! You're the man! Off the door, there you want. Off the door. Good job.
Came in to the race, tied with Marco Andretti. He will leave here with what looks like will be a 22-point lead. Helio Castroneves, get ready. He'll be climbing the fence.
What's the matter? I think I ate the bones. I think I ate the bones. I ate the bones!
It's KFC original recipe without the bones. White or dark meat, boneless and skinless. Get a 2-piece combo for just $4.99. Today tastes so good.
Introducing a car company that's never made a single car. Legendary durability. Impressive mileage. Firestone tires. So unstrap the saddle. These old stallions are ready to run. Again. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
I doth declare that thou have brought over many discounts to thine customers.
Safe driver, multi-car, paid in full. A most fulsome bounty indeed, Lord Jamie.
Thou cometh and we, thy saveth.
What are you doing?
We doth offer so many discounts, we have some to spare.
Oh, you have any of those homeowners discounts? Here we go. Thank you.
Took my shield, my lady.
These are troubling times in the kingdom.
More discounts than we know with what to do with. Now that's Progressive.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words,
Chevrolet Impala. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Give me your street circuits, your ovals. Give me your road courses and your cathedrals of speed. Give me drivers who live to put it all on the line and cars unlike any other. Because this is America, and here we race IndyCar.
Next stop, the Milwaukee Mile.
And you saw it on side-by-side as Elio climbed the fence, and he stalls the car trying to get to victory lane. Look, he doesn't even care right now. Everybody was saying they were trying to put the driver back into the equation. We had that kind of race tonight, guys, didn't we?
I think that a lot of this win is because of the professionalism and the way he worked with his engineers, and he drove it perfectly. Like you said, Scott, he wasn't always the fastest car, but he was by far and away the most consistent. And look at the energy he's got afterwards.
If you managed the tires, that's what everybody was saying, you would have a chance. And yeah, let's just listen to the crowd. He is the original Spider-Man of motorsports, that's for sure. And while he's getting towards victory lane, let's talk to the man who finished second place. How about it, Jamie Little?
And Ryan Hunter-Reay watches on. Well, you were behind him, but you just couldn't get close enough. How much of a handful was this car tonight? I think you had all conditions.
Yeah, it was just varying levels of bad just because of how loose it was. But, man, the drivers had to drive it tonight. And, you know, that #1 DHL Chevy was great. I mean, we made the most of it, and we kind of lost it there with the yellow when it came out. Our strategy was such that we needed that yellow not to come out, and we had a good shot at winning it today, though. So it's just, man, after a long day like that, then need to down some sun drops. It's been... that was, I'll tell you, that was interesting. That was hard to even get by some of the slower traffic, and you were just searching everywhere for grip. I had so many catches out there that I thought were going in the wall. Man, gonna be tough to go to sleep tonight.
Well, Ryan, you said you were turning left a long time. Let me ask you, if there was another caution, you had 2 sets of sticker tires in there. Do you think that would have made a difference if the caution did come out?
I would have been begging to come in for new Firestones, that's for sure. I mean, it was a handful, but you know, I hope it was a good show. You know, we had slightly less downforce, a bit less downforce today, so it's hard to get it right. But you know, the racing's been awesome this season, so we're gonna keep moving on. And I think Milwaukee next weekend is gonna be an awesome race. We love going there. I love that track.
All right, thanks, Ryan Hunter-Reay. Let's go to Vince in victory lane.
Elio Castroneves celebrating with his team, and it's been a long time. Roger Penske back on the box for Elio today, getting his celebration from the captain. And hey, it had been a long time. Turn you around there. It had been a long time since you climbed that fence, but it looked like you hadn't forgotten.
I mean,
how good does it feel to win, huh? How good does it feel to win again?
Oh, it's been great. I tell you, first of all, I want to thank AAA. Boys did a hell of a job. Hitachi guys, SKF, Quicken Loans, Verizon, all our sponsors are Shell, Pennzoil, come on, PPG, everyone. If I'm forgetting, I'm sorry, I'll run out of memory.
How were you guys able to manage the tires so effectively?
You know, Jonathan did a great job. Chevy guys did a great job because we're able not only to manage the tires, manage the fuel. I mean, it was a setup, you know. We're just doing a lot of work, homework, and it paid off. Thank God, paid off. Texas is awesome. I love this place. One more, baby, mi amor. Mwah, Micaela, mwah, familia, mwah, yeah!
Elio Castroneves, just a little bit happy in victory lane tonight at Texas Motor Speedway.
Took the lead on lap 97, led the rest of the way. He breaks the tie for 12th with Texan Johnny Rutherford on the all-time win list. And when he wins, it's a party.
We put Penske right back on the map and right in the lead of the championship.
All right, we've still got quite a few people we want to talk to, but don't you go anywhere, because we'll be right back here at Texas Motor Speedway after a very exciting and very different kind of race.
ESPN's coverage
coverage of the Firestone 550 on ABC. Brought to you by Firestone, reminding you that whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. And Verizon, official wireless partner of the IZOD IndyCar Series.
Back here in Texas with Tony Kanaan, who finished third, and you're the fastest car at the end. But did you ever have a car that could catch Elio?
No, I don't think so. I think, with the strategy, we lost a lot. So, no, I did not.
All right, what everybody missed out was the perfect Elio impersonation you just did a moment ago.
Wow. Wow, baby. We won. We won. So, I'm happy for him. He did a great job.
All right, congratulations, Tony Kanaan. Not a bad run for third.
And Marco Andretti brings it home fifth, led 57 laps tonight. Where do you feel like you guys gave it up and lost this race to Elio?
It's always easier Monday morning quarterback, but I think it worked out for Ryan. He had a vibration. He came in early, and then he went out running some really quick laps, and he didn't catch the yellow, so he made up. So we tried to do the same thing. We caught the yellow. We went a lap down. So it's unfortunate, and on top of it all, the worst guy won. But congrats to him.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm trying to beat him in the championship. I'm not saying as a person.
Second in points. He's 22 points back. Let's go back to Rick.
And Jamie, Ed Carpenter had a great run. You had 2 pit stop problems, one with the glove on there, another time when you actually missed it to come in, but you still finished third. You have to be impressed ultimately.
Yeah, it was kind of a ugly execution on our part. The glove's just one of those things that happen, and luckily it was early and we recovered from it. And then I didn't hear the guys on the radio, or we were maybe talking on top of one another, and I didn't hear that the pits were open. So that was my mistake. Either way, I should have come in. So we definitely made an uphill battle for ourselves, but still happy for the team and Fuzzy's Vodka to get a top 4. I thought we were going to be on the podium, but Tony had a little fresher tires at the end and ran us down.
Still a very impressive run for Ed Carpenter.
His best finish ever here at Texas, 4th, and he was 10th back at Indy, so this was his best finish of the season as well. And as Elio shoots the 6-shooters, part of the celebration that always goes on at Texas Motor Speedway. Stay with us. Is that not one of the coolest victory lanes in all of motorsports? Elio's name in lights, the flames, they do it right here with Eddie Gossage and his crew here at Texas Motor Speedway. Only 2 cars did not finish this race. Pippa Mann lost an engine early, and then it was Scott Dixon's travails. And Jamie, you've got an update because I guess a couple of injured crewmen maybe?
Yes, well, we had showed the video when he had pulled into his pit box. He had problems with the gearbox. They thought they had it fixed. Well, when he brought it back in, you saw a poop. We're going to see it here. That was hot gearbox grease right there, oil all over the crew members. 3 of them burned on their hands and faces. They went to the infield care center. You see it there, wiping it all down, and a fire ensues afterwards. But they have been checked and released, so that's good news, but they are burned. So we'll have to keep an eye on that in the future races to come. Marty?
All right. Thank you very much for the update, and we're glad those guys are going to be okay. All right. Let's take a look at the final run order. And, yes, only 5 cars on the lead lap, but yet it was one of those races that, I mean, this really had some different strategy that we haven't seen.
And I think that's all because the tires were made to go off, and the car really had to handle as far as the driver was concerned. Driver input was very necessary. But the strategy had to come from the team, and I think Elio Castroneves and Team Penske played it really well.
What I really like is the fact that they've gotten away from pack racing, and they proved that they can race on a very technical circuit like this on these big banks. And it was a great race. We were standing up the whole way. It was impossible to figure out who had an advantage, and Penske, they just kind of put it together tonight for the first time this season.
And they're off again next week till Milwaukee. 2 weeks from now, we'll have them back on ABC. There you see the last 4 in the 24-car field, as it was a tough night for all of those at the bottom half. All right, so as the celebration continues down trackside, and some of the fans are still hanging around, he does look pretty good in a cowboy hat, doesn't he? Elio Castroneves.
Yeah, it's amazing because anytime you come into a victory circle, it's a very exciting time. But whenever you come into the victory circle here at Texas Motor Speedway, it is a great opportunity to enjoy with your teammates.
Take a look at the points. As you can see, 22 now separates Elio and Marco. Ryan Hunter-Reay in 3rd. And look at the 4th-place jump by Tony Kanaan. He is now 64 markers back. Don't count him out of this championship. The 2004 champion is running very well. In the other direction, a lot lot of teams that we thought might be doing better, especially that 18th place team. Graham Rahal, just the struggles continue. He's dropped 4 more spots.
They need to just hit the reset button there because they really haven't managed to have any great result this year, have they?
Final thought?
Well, I was surprised at how well this race went because there was so much strategy going on, but I'm looking forward to the next few races which play into Team Penske and Helio Castroneves because they're all coming up to be ovals.
I thought it was a fantastic race. We're right in the middle of the championship, and nobody is a favorite.
Well, the celebration for that man will continue for quite a while as Helio Castroneves wins. Coming up next, we've got your late local news, except on the West Coast. Our next IndyCar race on ABC is Sunday, June 23rd. It's the Iowa Corn Indy 250. Congratulations once again to our winner, the number 3 car of Helio Castroneves, the only 4-time winner here at Texas Motor Speedway. For our entire ESPN crew, as this has been a presentation of ESPN on ABC, I'm Marty Reed. Till we meet again.